102.9. Tonight's game is brought to you by Quality Toyota and Quality Motors, Newkirk, Denison Buckles, Community National Bank of Independence, Crossland Construction, Equity Bank, Kirk Wright Insurance, Labette Health, Lee's Cooling and Heating, Medical Lodges and Grand Villa, the Medicine Shop Pharmacy, Midwest Real Estate, and the Car Shop. Now let's head over to the stadium and your play-by-play voice of the Bulldogs, Kane Carpenter.
We welcome you to Emmett Field, the site of tonight's game between the Independence Bulldogs and the Caney Valley Bullpups. I'm Kane Carpenter, along with me, Brett Shields. This is our Quality Toyota pregame show. Quality Toyota and Quality Motors, proud sponsors of IHS Athletics. And Brett, kind of hard to believe football's here already, but tonight for the Bulldogs and really over the course of this season for Independence, it's going to be a lot of new faces at a lot of different and important positions, especially at the skill positions. And for Independence, they're going to have to make do with a lot of young kids.
Yeah, I don't know if I can speak for you. I assume I can. It's been 4 weeks of preseason football in the NFL on TV. Had a little bit of college football last night on TV, and here we are tonight. And as you said, a young bunch of Bulldogs out here. Going to be a couple guys coming back from last year's team, but a couple is about as far as that goes.
Yeah, again, a lot of new faces, losing somewhere upwards of 18 starters from last year's team on both the offensive and the defensive
they can only
side
put
of the
11
ball.
Out there.
Well, like I say, on the offensive and defensive side of the ball, so you're not bringing a whole lot back there with it. But, of course, you have some kids playing both ways as well, so effectively a completely different team out there. But one of the faces that will remain being Josh Prawley. Kind of a question on where exactly he was going to fall into the equation. Running back last year, of course, for Independence. This year, probably going to be looking to take a lot of snaps at the quarterback position as well as running back from time to time.
Well, me and you had talked off air, obviously, kind of all summer about, what will Josh do? He ended the season last year, took a lot of snaps. Obviously, Will Schaubel, the feature back, but probably started taking more snaps as the season went on and kind of wondered, will he be that feature back? What are they going to do at quarterback? And like you said, he will take snaps at quarterback, but I think the true answer to that question is we'll probably see him in a little bit of both.
Yeah, he's going to have to play probably just about every position that he can out there, again, being one of the not only few remaining starters held over from last season, but one of the few seniors for this Independence team.
And even in warm-ups, he was doing the kicking duties as well.
He's going to be on offense, defense, special teams, doing a little bit of everything. But tonight for the Bulldogs, of course, Independence playing against the Caney Valley Bullpups here in this one, and these two teams played against one another last year. Independence getting the win over in Caney last season by a score of 41-17 over their counterparts, and not really much of a contest for that Independence team last year. But if I remember correctly, one of those things that gave Independence a little bit of fits last season, got to imagine to begin the same way again this season. Offensively for Caney Valley, they do like to run a lot of those quick handoffs, using a lot of split ends, coming off the side a little bit, and those quick handoffs result in an early push from that offensive line. So Independence defensively going to have to be ready for a lot of quick running backs coming up the middle in between those tackles, especially early on in the early downs.
Yeah, and if you've listened to us in the last couple of years anyway, we've always talked about other teams that don't stay disciplined, and I don't like calling out other teams. Actually, I do sometimes, but two teams that come to mind, Parsons and Coffeyville, they'll always have such great skill players, but they don't stay disciplined at times. And I kind of wonder about this Independence team this year. It's not that they won't stay disciplined. It's that we look back the last 2 and 3 seasons, and Independence has just filtered through great senior classes that have been full of players. You look at this year's team, you're going to be running out a lot of sophomores, maybe even a couple freshmen out there playing a lot. You're less likely to stay disciplined when you're out there that young, because all you want to do is just get out there and hit somebody.
Yeah, Independence is going to have to stay disciplined. That's especially going to have to be true here tonight against this team. But being the first game of the season, you're going to see some of those early jitters. You're going to see some of those false starts, getting offsides. Those tend to happen being that first game of the year. And Independence especially going to have to be wary of not letting that happen, because being a young team, you're not going to be able to afford to get down in the count, so to speak, as far as yardage goes, especially on the offensive end. Independence never, even last year, really wasn't a team that could afford to take those negative plays or those penalties and be able to overcome it on the offensive side of it. It's going to be doubly true again this season with a very young and inexperienced Independence offense.
Yeah, what you don't want to see is 1st and 20, 2nd and 18.
First and 15 can be hard to overcome.
If you come out there, big play on offense, you got a first down, everybody's lined up, ready to go. You got momentum, boom, somebody jumps off or false start. 1st and 15. All that momentum you had from that big play before, gone.
Cannot afford to have that happen. Do want to mention this game also on the radio, of course, but also streaming live on the Indy 102.9 YouTube page. Just search that on YouTube. Should be able to find it. And also on the Indy 102.9 Facebook page as well. So being able to get that out on the Internet here tonight, not only on the radio for us.
I actually put that on my own Facebook.
Yeah, there you go, exactly.
Let people know.
Let them know on that. We're going to take a 30-second timeout, however. When we come back, we will have more of our Quality Toyota pregame show. You're listening to Bulldog Football right here on Indy 102.9.
Quality Toyota and Quality Motors are proud supporters of IHS Athletics. We would like to encourage fans and players to keep up the great example of sportsmanship that is an Independence tradition. Quality Automotive Group also has a rich tradition of helping local folks get the best deal on a new or used car or truck. For example, I have a great school or commuter car, a 2011 Camry with only 56,000 miles. Stop by either side of the street and tell them you're here for the IHS Supporter Special and get a $1,000 discount. Go Bulldogs.
You're listening to the IHS Bulldogs on KBIK Independence, Indy 102.9.
Welcome you back to Emmett Field here in Independence, Kansas. Getting closer to the start of this one between the Independence Bulldogs and the Caney Valley Bullpups. Once again, this is our Quality Toyota, Quality Motors pregame show. Quality Toyota and Quality Motors, both proud sponsors of IHS Athletics. And the Bulldogs are just now getting out onto the field to the applause of the home crowd. And Brett kind of looking out a little bit. Nice to see such a big crowd here for the Independence faithful, as the Bulldogs do a good job getting out here and supporting their team. And the first one here tonight, and one of the few here this evening, I guess we'll just throw that out there while we're at it. One of 3 home games this season for Independence, so not only with the youth and inexperience on this Independence squad, but also going to have to deal with playing 6 road games this season as well.
Yeah, if you are at home listening and thought, well, I'll just catch the next one, that's about a month away.
Exactly, that's the 29th of September, so...
then after that, it's another month away.
It makes it tough, to say the least. But tonight, Brett, for Independence, what are they going to have to do to be able to be successful against Caney Valley?
Score more points.
That's really what it comes down to. It's basic element. You just got to score more points. And for Independence, turnovers, I think, are going to be key for them.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit already in the pregame. It's you just got to be more disciplined. You can't make bonehead mistakes. You can't go out there and have false starts. You can't go out there and have unsportsmanlike. Those are a killer. You get a 15-yard penalty, and boom, that can ruin a whole drive. But tonight, go out there, play fundamental football, hit your holes, hit your blocks. When I saw the schedule, we kind of knew last year what the schedule was going to be in a 2-year cycle. But, Independence, with the way the SEK is, 4 non-league games.
Yep.
Of the 4, I'm glad this is the first one and not Bays or Linwood, say. No disrespect to this team out here tonight or overdoing it on Bays or Linwood's good. They were good last year. They're going to be good this year. I like playing a 3A school tonight. And not
to say this won't be a tough game, because it was like you and I talked about. It will be.
Caney's gone to the state playoffs 9 out of the last 11 years, and if they go this year, it'll be 8 in a row.
But
they
went
3 rounds deep last year.
Yeah.
They made a little bit of a state tournament run last year, or state run, not tournament, I guess. It's a tournament, essentially.
Mm-hmm. No, you're right. And again, this is going to be a very difficult game for Independence, because we know this every time we play Caney. despite them being a 3A school, they're coached up very well. They're going to give you everything they've got. And Chris Davis able to get everything out of his players, absolutely. And it's going to be the same way here tonight.
I mean, what does Caney have to lose?
Nothing. Yeah.
If you lose, you know what? Hey, the big 4A school in the county beat us. If they come in here, they travel up to Independence and win. I mean, if you're Independence, you can't talk for a year at least. I mean,
yeah. Essentially, there's very little to gain.
For Independence.
That's always been the speculation on, especially in years past.
That's the reason they went 50 years without playing.
And why Colgan never got a chance to play Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I mean, what's there to gain, from Pittsburgh? And you see that from time to time. But the way the schedule fell the last 2 years, it was both these teams seeing an opportunity to do that. And I think it's helpful for both these teams in a lot of ways.
Not only that, this is the fourth straight year now that these two teams have faced each other after, what was it, a near 50-year absence?
Between that, and they finally kind of got this kick-started back again.
And with the new setup, probably won't see it again for a while, I would assume. Can't guarantee anything, but with the new setup, Kane will probably talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that more a little bit later. Right now, we're going to wrap up our Quality Toyota, Quality Motors pregame show, send it back to the studio for 30 seconds, and when we come back, we'll be that much closer to kickoff. You're listening to Bulldog Football right here on Indy 102.9.
The name Newkirk Dennis & Buckles is synonymous with hometown insurance. Always having your best interests at heart with the ability to design the product to fit your specific needs. Having the right insurance for your family, home, or business is important. Depend on Newkirk Dennis & Buckles. They have been actively serving the community for over 100 years as insurance experts. When you think insurance, think Newkirk Dennis & Buckles with locations in Independence, Neodesha, Coffeyville, Fredonia, and Caney.
You're listening to the IHS Bulldogs on KBIK Independence, Indy 102.9.
Back here at Emmett Field, Independence, Kansas. Opening night for most teams in the state of Kansas. There were some that ended up playing last night, however. Colgan and, I believe, Galena, wasn't it? Were one of them. And
16-0 victory by Galena.
Yeah, which... when was the last time Colgan was shut out? Do you know?
I saw a post on Twitter. Somebody was shocked that Colgan got shut out. Didn't know when the last time that happened was. That was their last game last year.
Yeah, on that one.
Back-to-back shutouts for Colgan.
Which that is surprising, to say the least.
But Galena, they play Coffeyville this year, right?
Yep, they do.
That was a fun game last year, if I remember. A little post-game gibbering a little bit.
A little bit on that. There definitely was. And Coffeyville, of course, tonight they're hosting Great Bend.
Have fun with that one.
Coffeyville, the inverse of us, they have 6 home games this year. So they're going to be able to enjoy some favorable home field advantage over the course of this season, although that Great Bend game going to be extremely tough, to say the least, for the Golden Tornado. Both teams at it. Midfield getting things situated about who will receive and who will kick to start this one off.
In fact, the captains out there for Independence tonight, seniors, Aiden Charter, Jeb Stafford, Josh Prawley, and Darius Scott.
Some of the few seniors for this Independence team, really.
Is that the list?
That actually might be.
Yeah, nope. There's one other senior.
Yeah, you're right.
I think.
Got Mayfield, Darius Scott, Leonard Armstrong, Megan Rodriguez listed as senior as well. Jeb Stafford, Josh Prawley, Aiden Charter.
They're all at the end of the...
I was going to say they were the last few numbers listed on there, but definitely not a senior-laden team by any stretch of the imagination for the Independence Bulldogs, and going to have to be led by some of these seniors, and that's where a player like a Josh Prawley will have to step in. Aiden Charter, Jeb Stafford, among others, going to have to provide leadership.
Speaking of Josh Prawley, he carried a football out with him when the captains went out. still has that football. I think that's the game. Yeah, the official just had to come get it from him. That's the game football. He probably will be kicking off. Independence will be kicking off here.
Wanted a good feel for it.
Probably was just going to take the ball out there with him, and finally the official was like, young man, I have to take that from you.
Cannot do that. Do want to mention, opening kickoff brought to you by G&W Foods of Independence. G&W Foods Independence, just as well, get the best. Do want to thank, of course, all of our fine sponsors for Independence Bulldog football. And Independence will kick off going right to left. Caney Valley set to receive to start this ball game. Prawley set up to kick off for the Bulldogs. Kick is up and away. Be received at the 15-yard line. Working his way up the field is Ellis, finding some good blocks, then getting taken down just shy of the 35-yard line.
I feel like I'm going to say this a lot this year, but guess who tackled him, Kane?
Yeah, Josh Prawley?
Josh Prawley.
The kicker?
He came flying in and just stuck him.
Yep, probably going to be hearing a lot of that. Prawley definitely knows for the football last year defensively. So 1st and 10 from their own 34-yard line. Caney Valley set to start this one. Wishbone formation under center. Handoff going to go off the left-hand side. A lot of room there across the 40 down to the 41-yard line. Looking like Matthew Simpson with the carry. Told you this earlier, Brett, but Caney Valley has those two vertical stripes on their shoulders. They all look like the number 11 to me, so we'll have to see how many times I shout that out. Back to the Wishbone, 2nd and 3 officially for Caney Valley. Pitch off to the left-hand side, getting some room, sealed off the edge, but Independence doing a good job converging and stopping him just a little past the line of scrimmage. Minimal gain there. It'll bring up 3rd and short for Caney Valley, officially 3rd and 2.
And Grant Ritchie on the carry that time.
So Ritchie not able to find much room. Looked like the edge was sealed momentarily, but the linebacker's doing a good job of responding.
Call this a long 2.
Yep, 3rd and a long 2. Back in the Wishbone. Handoff again, straight up the middle with it, plowing his way forward up near midfield and a 1st down. That'll move the chains. As it looked like Simpson again able to find some good blocking up front.
Yeah, just following the fullback up through the middle there, getting a good push, getting 7 yards.
So 1st and 10 at their own 49-yard line. Back under center, handoff goes once again right up the gut with it is Ritchie. Ritchie finding a lot of room, bouncing out to the outside off the left-hand side. He'll get tackled down near the 10. That was a huge gainer there as he picks up 41 yards on the carry. And that'll bring up 1st and goal for Caney. Independence not doing a great job tackling as Ritchie was able to find some room.
Yeah, they had the Wishbone, and he was the split back on the left side and just kind of ran off to the right side, kind of around the linebackers, and shot right through that hole.
Under center, once again goes Brown. Working the way off the left-hand side, finding a couple yards there. It'll be 2nd and goal. And the Independence defense going to be called upon to try to keep them out of the end zone. Pickup of 2 officially. 9:55 left in the first quarter. We're still at 0s. Brown under center, still in the Wishbone. Hands it off, right up the gut with it. Goes Ritchie. Ritchie gets stopped inside the 5-yard line down to the 4. It'll be 3rd and goal. Big play coming up now for the Independence defense. Although, not to get too far ahead of ourselves, could very well be 4-down territory, though.
Yeah, I saw the kicker for Caney warming up, left-footed kicker. Wasn't getting a lot of height on the ball.
And not a lot of not doing a good job syncing up their timing either, you noticed as well. But still, 3rd down, got to make a stop here. Got a flag come flying out. This one looks like going to go against Independence, actually. Offside. So that'll cut the distance in half. Make things much easier now for Caney Valley. 3rd and goal from the 2. There's those penalties we talked about a little bit. Brown back under center. Handed off, up the gut with it, and spinning his way into the end zone for the touchdown is Simpson. That'll make it 6-0 Caney Valley with 9:05 left in the first quarter. The Bull Pups strike first on their first offensive possession of the game.
Yeah, and they just kind of marched down the field right in the gut of Independence's defense.
Yeah, not a good sign. Of course, that was spurred by the 41-yard run there to put them in the red zone. PAT pending. Kick is up, and it is good. 7-0 Caney Valley. 9:05 left in the first quarter. We'll take a 60-second timeout. You're listening to Bulldog Football right here on Indy 102.9.
Are you looking for a new option for your checking account? Look no further than Community National Bank and Trust. Our brand new Guardian Secure checking account helps protect you from identity theft, offers cell phone protection, shopping rewards, travel discounts, and can pay you CD-like rates if you qualify, all with your checking account. If your account isn't paying you, call or stop by Community National Bank and Trust today. Member FDIC.
Who doesn't love being number one? When your team's dominating the standings, or your favorite band rocks the charts at number one, it feels good, right? Kind of like how it feels when you have auto insurance with State Farm. Because making you feel like number one is an honor your local State Farm agent takes seriously. Through the good times and not so good, your State Farm agent's proud to be here to help life go right.
State Farm Agent Kirk Wright, 1701 West Main in Independence, or call 620-331-1245. You're listening to the IHS Bulldogs on KBIK Independence, Indy 102.9.
Back here at Emmett Field, 7-0. Caney Valley with the lead over the Independence Bulldogs. 9:05 left in the first quarter. Independence with an opportunity now to try to tack some points on the board themselves as they're awaiting the kickoff and the first offensive possession for the Bulldogs. Kaiser kicking off for the Bull Pups. Kick is away, and that one sails out of bounds. Penalty flag goes flying, so Independence should be getting some decent field position here if they elect to go that route and not make them re-kick.
Yeah, that wasn't kind of it floated out of bounds. That was just a straight out of bounds.
That one about hit on the track to begin with. So now the Bulldogs are going to be setting up with some good field position. See where they'll get it marked officially once the officials figure it out. Again, 9:05 left in the first quarter, 7-0. Caney Valley with the lead. Their touchdown set up by a 41-yard run, by Grant Ritchie into the red zone, and 3 plays later they were able to plow it on in. Ball will be set up at the 35-yard line for the Bulldogs. Independence coming out, 2 wide receivers set to the far side. Shotgun set for the Bulldogs. Man in motion to the far side. Shotgun. Ball lost in the backfield at the fumble. Prawley picks it up, able to avoid some tacklers, finds some room. I don't know how he did that, and gets it out near the 45-yard line. That'll be a first down. And the first Bulldog first down brought to you by Quality Wrecker Service. For 24-hour roadside service, call 620-331-2454. Wow.
He went 14 yards backward, Prawley, as he went 14 yards backwards when he finally got the ball scooped up. Somehow managed to get a first down. Unbelievable.
Wasn't pretty, but we'll take it. Back in the gun, Prawley keeps it, rolls to his right-hand side, looking to throw, doesn't really have anybody, fires it off, and it is incomplete as it fell short of its intended receiver, Jeb Stafford. Had Stafford come open across the middle there late, but Prawley having to throw across his body, that's a tough throw for anybody to make.
Yeah, definitely a tough one.
Brings up 2nd and 10 now.
Well, Patrick Mahomes completed it 46 yards.
Good point there. Of course, as much time as he had on that play, I think I might have been able to make that throw. You know, we talked about negative plays for Independence, but probably just as importantly, plays that don't result in positive yards can be a killer, too, here on 2nd and 10. Shotgun set, handoff off the left-hand side, finding a lot of room, plowing his way through is Jaden McGrath.
Tell you what, McGrath wasn't scared. He lowered his shoulder into the safety, Carter Brown, who was coming up. McGrath went down, but he wasn't afraid to lower that shoulder.
Picked up 6 yards in the process. It'll bring up 3rd and 4 now. Although they're going to say officially 3rd and 5. So they march it back a little bit. Back in the gun. Prawley keeps it Wildcat right up the middle, fighting his way through. He gets the first down as he falls across the 45-yard line out near the 43. And that'll be enough to move the chains once again for Independence.
All right, Kane, it's going to sound like a dumb question. Is it still the Wildcat if it's the quarterback?
Yeah, I guess that's true. He is officially at the quarterback spot, so I guess technically he wouldn't be in that situation. It's hard to look at him anything other than a running back, but he does have a good arm. Shows it there, bubble screen. It's pulled in, getting some good blocking down the sideline, out across the 40. And that was Aiden Charter hauling that one in, picking up some solid yardage in the process.
Yeah, going to end up being a 6-yard completion, and a good job by Charter covering the ball. About 3 bull pups on him right there.
Well, that's breaking it down into steps, making sure you haul in the pass, which sounds like a no-dub, but you see a lot of times kids don't do that. They look to go up the field before they've secured it. He made sure he had it and then found the blocking. A little confusion. Independence gets set up correctly. Twin wideouts to the near side. Shotgun set. Handoff up the middle. Farley with it. Out across the 35. He'll fall forward. Close to the first down marker. Kind of hard for me to tell here. That looks like enough to move it, however, and another Independence first down. Hate to say it, Brett, but I will. Been impressive so far with Independence methodically moving the ball down the field.
Well, that's what they're going to have to do. Not a whole lot of big play potential right now.
7-12 and counting left in the first quarter. 7-0. Caney Valley with the lead currently. However, this is the first offensive possession for the Bulldogs. Shotgun set, twin wideouts to the far side. Probably takes it. He'll keep it himself up the middle. Pocket collapses quickly around him, and he'll get maybe 2 yards on that carry as Caney Valley did a good job getting some penetration there along the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, did a double fake handoff. Had a split running backs to each side of him. Faked it one way, then the other, and then just tried to follow one of the backs into a hole, and it collapsed very quickly.
Caney Valley's got some decent size, especially along that defensive line.
We would tell you what it is. But
nothing is listed for either team, size-wise. Back in the shotgun, Prawley with it. He'll hand it off to Farley. Farley finding some good room off the right-hand side. Uses a stiff arm, sheds a tackler across the 20, the 15, the 10, then gets pushed out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. And good job by that offensive line opening up those holes, Brett, but also good job there by Amarion Farley finding the hole on the right-hand side, making that one cut, and then getting up the field.
Yeah, Farley had about probably, say a 12 to 13-yard carry, then added the stiff arm, 24 yards.
So Independence in business, 1st and goal at the 9-yard line. Ball security going to be paramount here. Trip wideouts to the near side, shotgun set, going to hand it off. Swallowed up the middle on that one for no gain. Actually might have lost a yard. There was Jaden McGrath as offensive line could not hold back the defenders coming through.
Yeah, and losing a yard, not a penalty, but losing a yard there makes it extremely tough now. You're looking at 2nd and goal from the 10-yard line.
Again, just to reiterate, Brett and I talking a lot about how this Independence offense really just has to have positive yards every play. That's how that's important to keep their momentum going. 2nd and goal from the 10, back in the gun. Prawley keeps it, cuts up the middle, gets surrounded, loses the ball, it looks like, and Caney Valley says they've got it. They do. So right there, turnovers being a killer, and how important ball security is, especially down in the red zone.
Yeah, and it looked as if Prawley was looking to pass, and Caney's defensive line was just all all over him.
Yeah, didn't have much room to go there on that play, and really a killer turnover there for Independence. Still down 7-0. Now with 5:30 left in the first quarter. Caney Valley back with the football. Brown going to go under center in the wishbone. Hands it off, left back, off the left-hand side. Gets corralled and brought down after a 5-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd and 5.
Yeah, and Simpson that time. Like Simpson's playing that fullback position of the wishbone, and you have that such a quick handoff. It's hard for those defensive linemen to figure out which one of the three has the ball.
Yeah, between Simpson and especially Ritchie as well, it's been very difficult to tell where they're going to go with it, although they found more success up the middle, I'll say, than when they tried to run it to the outside earlier. 2nd and 5. Back in the wishbone, right up the middle once again. This time picking up first down yardage. Plowing his way through there was Grant Ritchie, and it'll be enough to move the chains.
Got to point out that tackle, though, by Aiden Charter. Went right in for the knees, and if Charter misses that tackle, that might be a touchdown. It would have been a foot race between Ritchie and Farley.
That interior, that Independence defense can have to do a better job. 1st and 10. They run the option pitch. It's loose, and it will be picked up by Independence, by Prawley. However, I don't think it's going to matter. That might have been a penalty flag did come out. Question is who that's going to be on. It's on Caney Valley, so Independence going to decline it and going to be the beneficiary of the recovered fumble by Josh Prawley.
Good job by Prawley. He's everywhere.
Also looked, I don't know, it looked like it was a forward pass to me, just kind of, but we're not at a great angle, obviously, but just the way it looked like it came out. But nevertheless, it's Independence football. 1st and goal at the 10-yard line, so Independence gets it right back after Caney Valley, I'm going to say inexplicably, runs the option, despite having the Bulldogs number running up the middle.
So essentially, we're right back where we were about a minute and a half ago.
Except we gained it down, essentially, because it was 2nd and goal from the 10. Now it's 1st and goal from the 10. Prawley going to hand it off to McGrath. McGrath picking and choosing his way up the middle. Not going to pick up much, maybe half a yard, and that's being generous. 4:18 left and counting in the first quarter. 7-0. Caney Valley with the lead.
And you just wonder if last time in this situation, probably dropped back to pass and just had no protection. Will they just try to do a different types of runs for 4 downs to see if they can punch one in?
Prawley in the gun. Going to take it to the right-hand side, gets a lead blocker, tries to cut up the middle, flag on the play, gets it across the 10, the line of scrimmage, but that flag's not going to bode well for the Bulldogs.
Probably holding.
I can imagine you're right, and you are. Difficult situation for the Bulldogs to be in for a couple of reasons. Anytime you're inside the 10-yard line, almost at any level of football, you got to play up defensively, especially since there's just not that much room you have to defend. Doubly so when you're playing against Independence because they like to run the ball so much. So there's not a lot of running room out there right now for the Bulldogs unless they get some good blocks, maybe seal something off on the edge, which is what they tried to do.
And Caney accepting that penalty.
This might help Independence a little.
I kind of wondered if, Caney's been stopping Independence once they got in the red zone. Thought, well, maybe they'll just take the 3rd down.
It's 2nd and goal from the 21. Independence got a little more room to work with. Prawley looking to throw, drops back, fires it out there. It's complete. Out across the 15, getting brought down. It was number 13, Zadrick Daniels, is doing a good job hauling that one in.
It ended up being a 7-yard catch and throw, or catch and pass, or however you want to say that, pass and catch, whatever.
However you want to do it, man. However you want to do it. I like catch and throw.
Catch and throw.
Not the order,
Baseball
I guess,
season
but
still.
Yeah, I know. So Independence 3rd and goal from the 13-yard line. More than likely 4-down territory, however, but needing some positive yards here for sure. Prawley takes it, works his way to the right-hand side, avoids the would-be tackler, then throws it out to the right-hand side, incomplete to Farley, as Farley could not haul that pass in. It brings up 4th and goal now for the Bulldogs from the 13-yard line.
I'm going to imagine they go for it.
Yeah.
Don't know who the place kicker is. As far as field goals go, I would assume it's Prawley.
And he's a holder, if you can believe that.
He's going to do the Doug Flutie
drop kick. So Independence, not really much of a decision. I say you go for it here, and they will. Just a question of what play you call. Probably going to have to be a pass no matter how you slice it. Trip wide out to the near side. Prawley in the gun. McGrath to his right-hand side. Drops back to throw. Looks. Fires it. Had a man momentarily, but the defender turned and looked. It will be knocked down incomplete.
Yeah, they tried the hard pump fake on the bubble screen and looked at Daniels in the end zone. Defender just right there, and if you throw an interception there, you really don't lose anything, so might as well throw it up.
Yeah, they tried, and good play call, all things considered, but it will result in a turnover on downs, and Caney Valley gets the ball back at their own 13-yard line, 1st and 10. Brown under center, back in the wishbone, hands it off the left-hand side, run out across the 20 down to the 22-yard line. Another big gainer there. This time by Simpson is
Caney with 81 yards on the ground now. 29 by Simpson, 52 from Ritchie.
41 of those coming from Ritchie on one play. Brings up 2nd and 1 for Caney Valley. Hand off right, back up the gut, enough for the first down. It'll move the chains with 2:07 left in the first quarter. It's still 7-0 Caney Valley. 1st and 10 for the Bullpups at their own 26-yard line.
3-yard gain on the play gives Caney Valley a first down.
Back in the wishbone. Brown under center, pitches it out to the left-hand side, gets some good blocking, finding a lot of room. Off and the way goes Ritchie before he gets pushed out of bounds close to midfield.
And Schicky there. Schicky playing the safety position. It's kind of the last man of defense, and yeah, it's a good tackle to force him out of bounds.
Actually, went out a little sooner than that, I guess. It'll be at their own 44-yard line with 1:47 left in the first quarter. Bulldog defense got their work cut out for them here. Right back up the middle with it, fighting the way through arm tackles across midfield, out near the 48-yard line. And it's an 8-yard pickup, as Independence cannot afford to be giving up that kind of yardage on each running play.
An 8-yard gain by Simpson. That's going to put Caney Valley over the 100-yard mark on the ground, still here in the first quarter.
Wishbone set, Brown under center. He'll pitch it out to the left-hand side. Got some room. Good block there. Gets the first down out near the 40-yard line. Gets stopped short of it, but it will move the chains once again. And with 62 seconds left in the first quarter.
It's a minute two.
Mm-hmm.
Just in case nobody knew.
Guess we're not using standard time. 7-0 Caney Valley, but the way the Bullpups are moving it down the field, they're looking to add more on the scoreboard. Back in the wishbone. They'll hand it off. Right up the middle with it goes Ritchie. Out across the 35, down near the 31-yard line. Be another 10-yard gainer, and it'll move the chains.
Not the start on defense I imagine Independence was looking for.
No, and again, it's just the interior part of that defense just not winning the battle at the line of scrimmage. Is they're getting pushed off the ball.
I see a lot of hands on hips and hands on knees from the Independence defense as well.
Well, this has been a relatively long drive, especially in terms of plays. Back to the handoff, up the gut with it. Getting pulled down a little sooner this time was Matthew Simpson, as he picks up 4 on that carry. Bring up 2nd and 6 with 30 seconds left in the first quarter. It's 7-0 in favor of Caney Valley. Tight formation set. Handoff up the middle. Ball loose. However, it looks like Caney Valley pounced back on it.
And then Caney, different quarterback in there.
Yeah, just noticed that, actually. Number 9. Caney Valley did recover that. It'll bring up 3rd and 3. After that carry, down to 3 seconds. They'll get the playoff in time. Handoff up the middle. Not much room to go with, but spins and falls forward. Might be enough for the first down. We'll have to see, but 7-0 the score in favor of Caney Valley at the end of the first quarter. We'll take a 60-second timeout. You're listening to Bulldog Football right here on Indy 102.9.
We're pet people. You're pet people. And this fall, Equity Bank is proud to be the official bank of pets. In August and September, for every new household that opens a new checking account, we'll donate $25 to a local animal cause. Plus, when you say hello to Equity Bank, you say goodbye to ATM fees. Equity Bank, the official bank of pets. Member FDIC, terms and conditions apply. When you have an emergency, you need a comprehensive healthcare facility that puts your mind at ease every step of the way. The emergency department at Labette Health Independence Healthcare Center offers patients fast access to vital healthcare services. Our quick response heart attack and stroke protocols ensure diagnostics begin rapidly. A state-of-the-art facility for state-of-the-art care. Labette Health Independence Healthcare Center, where we center around you.
You're listening to the IHS Bulldogs on KBIK Independence, Indy 102.9.
Back here at Emmett Field, Independence, Kansas, getting ready to start the second quarter. It's 7-0 in favor of Caney Valley, and the Bull Pups are on the move as they've got the football and are looking to strike again on the scoreboard. Defensively for Independence, they're having a hard time containing that run up the middle, as it's been pretty lethal on the ground for Caney Valley between the tackles.
Yeah, on the offensive side, Independence able to move the ball until they got into the red zone. Kind of stalled out twice, really.
Yeah, once resulting in a turnover flat out on the fumble, and a second a turnover on downs. But Caney Valley back with it in the wishbone. Handoff up the middle. Charging his way forward is Matthew Simpson. He'll pick up a good chunk of yardage. It was not enough for the first down. It was 4th and inches, but got more than enough on that carry as it'll move the chains.
Caney Valley just, every time they go up the middle, 4 or 5 yards with ease. And Caney had too many men in the huddle. They're going to call a timeout.
Yep. Bullpup's going to have to take the timeout. We'll take 30 seconds with them. You're listening to Bulldog Football right here on Indy 102.9.
Want to make your home a more comfortable place, but don't think you can afford a top brand heating and cooling system? Well, Carrier has the right solutions for every budget. When you turn to your Carrier expert, they'll show you our full lineup of best-in-class home comfort systems and help you pick the one that best fits into your home budget. Because in this economy, who couldn't use a little more comfort?
Lee's Cooling and Heating in Independence. Call 620-331-2310. 118 South 8th Street, Independence. You're listening to the IHS Bulldogs on KBIK Independence, Indy 102.9.
Getting ready to come out of the timeout. Still 7-0. Caney Valley with the lead. 11:45 left in the second quarter. 1st and 10 for the Bull Pups. And they've got the ball on the Independence 17-yard line. Ritchie under center. Takes the snap, hands it off the right-hand side. Tons of room down to the 5-yard line with that one was Grant Ritchie. And they'll bring up 1st and goal for the Bull Pups.
And Grant Ritchie now with 90 yards on the ground.
Down to the 5-yard line. Tackled by number 61, Dakota Sorensen.
It's 1st and goal from the 5-yard line for Caney Valley. Trey Ritchie under center in the wishbone, hands it off to Grant Ritchie, and right up the middle, almost unopposed, touchdown, Caney Valley, 13-0 with 11:29 left in the second quarter. The Bullpups able to strike again. Point after touchdown pending. Kaiser will kick this one, the lefty. Snap is away. A little wobbly, able to get the kick away, and it's good. 14-0. Caney Valley with the lead. We'll take a 60-second timeout. You're listening to Bulldog Football right here on Indy 102.9.
We are all faced with tough decisions when choosing a home away from home for our loved ones. Medical Lodges and Grand Villas of Independence offer a wide variety of services ranging from an assisted living community to skilled nursing or long-term care.
Whether you're seeking a place to make new friends or recover and go home, Medical Lodges and Grand Villas Independence.
Call me, Megan, at Medical Lodges, 331-8789.
Or call me, Amber, at Grand Villas, 331-2260. We serve and enhance the lives of others with caring hands.
Yep, you're gonna look good in this house. Are we ready to make an offer?
Well, we really love this house.
Yes, we really love this house, but $120,000 is as high as we can go on this house.
You're kidding me, right? I see what kind of car you're driving. You got lots of money. You can do better than that. Sheesh!
Tired of being hounded? Then visit us at Midwest Real Estate. Your home, our commitment. Online at MidwestKS.com.
You're listening to the IHS Bulldogs on KBIK Independence, Indy 102.9.
Back here at Emmett Field, 14-0. Caney Valley with the lead. 11:29 left in the second quarter. And Caney Valley getting ready to kick this one off to the Independence Bulldogs. And Independence looking for some momentum on offense. They've had a little, but not enough to capitalize into points. Kick is away. It'll be fielded at the 10-yard line, working away across the 15, then getting tackled pretty quickly there on that one. On the return was Austin Birdie, as he really had nowhere to go.
Yeah, the kick coverage got down there very quick.
Brett, I think he had some scores from around the area.
Yeah, in the second quarter, Lebec County leading Fredonia 23-0. Another area score. Chanute leading Iola 7-0. Fort Scott over Parsons 6-0 last we heard, and another surprising score, not in our area, but team we will play. Baser Linwood 0, Bishop Ward 14.
Don't know much about Ward, but never a good sign. Shotgun set for Independence. Prawley in the gun, two running backs back there with him, hands it off to McGrath. He gets swallowed up pretty quickly, and he'll end up losing a yard or two on that carry.
And McGrath now with 4 carries for 4 yards. Not good considering he did have 1 carry for 5.
Yeah. Officially a 1-yard loss. It'll bring up 2nd and 11 from their own 16-yard line. Back in the gun, 2 wide receivers split out wide, 2 running backs backfield with Prawley. Fakes the handoff, looking to pass, gets hit hard in the backfield and gets slung down. No protection. Off the strong side, the right-hand side there for Prawley as he gets sacked, and that'll be a huge loss.
He tried to keep his feet, but honestly, if he did, it probably would have been worse off.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Well, I won earlier. Who knows at this point? It'll be 3rd and long from their own 10-yard line.
Independence offense just marched down the field earlier, and ever since then, just looking a little lost.
See what they can do here in a 3rd and long situation. Prawley drops back to pass, looks to throw it, fires it. Looks like it was tipped maybe as it came out of his hand awkwardly, and it goes out of bounds, incomplete. 4th and very long from their own 10-yard line, a punting situation for the Bulldogs.
More than likely.
And not a good series there for Independence.
And Prawley had Bullpups in his face as he let go and wasn't exactly in the pocket for a very long time.
Bulldogs will punt. Farley back there. He'll kick this one away. Spiraling kick. It'll be fielded on the run out inside the 40-yard line, but brought down quickly with a minimal return, but still very good field position for Caney Valley. It looks like Cole Ellis is the one on the return, and a good return, but a risky. He was running up to the ball when he caught it, and those are the ones that typically you see just kind of bounce off the shoulder pads. You muff those pretty easily, but good field position regardless at the Independence 39-yard line, rather.
It definitely makes for a short field.
10:15 left in the second quarter. It's 14-0 Caney Valley. Whistle, and looks like a timeout's going to be called by Independence. We'll take a 30-second timeout with them. You're listening to Bulldog Football right here on Indy 102.9.
What makes a good pharmacy? At the Medicine Shop Pharmacy, it's a genuine interest in you and your personal health care needs. They help with all your health questions and concerns and offer health screenings that help monitor your health, sponsor health events that keep you informed of the most important advancements. And of course, a good pharmacy also provides a full range of the products you need for good health, from the national brands to trusted Medicine Shop brands. So what makes a good pharmacy? It's the Medicine Shop Promise. Pride in knowing medicine and also you in order to meet your individual health needs accurately and completely. 400 North Penn in Independence.
Back here at Emmett Field, Independence, Kansas, 14-0 Caney Valley with the lead. And Independence struggling a little bit here in the second quarter. They're back out there defensively and having to defend against a relatively short field with Caney Valley having the football. 1st and 10 at the Independence 39-yard line. It's been all ground game for the Bullpups, and got to imagine they're going to continue with that from here on out. Trey Ritchie going under center in the wishbone. Takes the snap, pitches it out to the left-hand side, cutting to the inside, finding some blocks up the middle, out across the 35, down near the 30-yard line. Big run and gain there of 9 yards. That time Ellis with the carry. Bit of a different change of pace running back for Caney Valley that time. Bring out 2nd and 2 for the Bullpups. Under center, hands it off right-hand side. Just plowing over defenders. Independence having a hard time bringing them down as Grant Ritchie just mowing his way through that Independence defense inside the 20-yard line. Another red zone opportunity for Caney Valley and another first down.
Ended up being a gain of 12, and like you said, just plowing through people.
1st and 10 at the Independence 17-yard line. And Independence going to have to take another timeout. With the 9:35 left until halftime, we'll take the 30-second timeout with them. You're listening to Bulldog Football right here on Indy 102.9.
Should you fix up the old clunker or buy a new car? That's the question. Now, here's the answer. The Car Shop at Independence can help you keep your car around for a long time. Most cars can safely reach 200,000 miles. The important thing is never skip on maintenance. Regular oil changes, tire rotations, and transmission tune-ups, even when it seems to be running fine. The Car Shop, 3201 West Main, Independence, 331-3553.
Coming out of the timeout, 9:35 left in the second quarter. 1st and 10 for Caney Valley. They've got the ball in the Independence 17-yard line. Trey Ritchie goes under center, takes the snap, hands it off, right up the middle with it. Goes Grant Ritchie. He'll find quite a bit of yardage there as he gets a nice 8-yard gain working his way through into the secondary. It'll bring up 2nd and 2. He'll 2nd and a long 2. We'll call it 2nd and 3.
I like 3.
Yeah, better, but still Independent's going to have to find some way to stop this ground game for Caney Valley. Back in the wishbone, tight set, off the left-hand side this time, off tackle. Enough for the first down, and inside the 5-yard line, it'll be 1st and goal for Caney Valley. As you mentioned earlier, Brett, a lot of hands on the hips right now by the Independence defenses. In all fairness, they have been out there quite a bit. Not just time, really, but a lot of plays, it seems like, as It's been two very methodical drives by Caney. Hands it off to Ritchie again, plows his way into the end zone for the touchdown, this time from 5 yards out. Makes it 20-0 Caney Valley with the lead. 8:28 left in the second quarter.
Ritchie having a pretty good half. That's now his second touchdown to go along with 119 yards.
And that just really brings home the point of how difficult it's been for this Independence defense to stop the ground game. Point after touchdown pending. Snap is away, kick is up, and it is through. It's good. 21-0 Caney Valley with the lead. 8:28 left in the second quarter. We'll take a 30-second timeout. You're listening to Bulldog Football right here on Indy 102.9.
Brian Klein again with Quality Toyota and Quality Motors. We hope you're enjoying the game. You know, I've been here for 8 years now, and I have never had this many pre-owned Tacomas. You know, the legendary dependability and reliability of the Tacoma? And now is your chance to save thousands off new prices. All of these are local trades. You can call or stop by either side of the street, and we'll show you why your neighbor trades with Quality Automotive Group. Hey, go Bulldogs, get that win.
21-0 the score in favor of Caney Valley. 8:28 left in the second quarter. Independence having a hard time finding much consistency on the offensive side, and also having a very difficult time stopping the ground game for the Bullpups, especially on these last two drives. But Caney Valley getting ready to kick off, and Independence with an opportunity here on offense once again to maybe correct some things and hopefully get some positive yardage and maybe lead to a score. It kind of looked like there for a second things might have been tied up at 7, but Independence was unable to capitalize on field position from the 10-yard line going in.
Yeah, offense going to have to find something that works.
Kick is up and away. It'll be fielded at about the 17-yard line. Finding some room up the middle, trying to bounce it to the outside, getting pulled down out to the 38. Good little return there. Can't quite see. Is that Zadrick?
First name basis.
Zadrick Daniels. The jersey was kind of rung up on him a little bit. Hard to see the number, but Daniels definitely with the carry on that one.
He's not very big.
But doing a good job finding his way.
The jersey going to get smushed up on him a lot.
Independence going to have it at their own 38-yard line officially, 1st and 10. 3 wide receivers set in the shotgun for Prawley. He'll take the snap. It's low through his legs. He's got to fall on it, and that'll be a loss of about 8.
Not a good way to find your offense. Not a good start anyway.
No, not a good snap, as that one was just below the knees. Be another negative play, unfortunately, for this Independence offense. Brings up 2nd and 18 from their own 30-yard line. Twin wideouts to the near side. Snap is away, hands it off to McGrath. Good moves, finding his way to the outside. Gets stuck around the 40-yard line and goes down. That's exactly what's needed, and then a flag comes flying in towards the end of the play. I feel it might not be beneficial to Independence, as there was some extra activity going on towards the end of that play.
Yeah, they played a little bit more than through the whistle.
To officially see what the word is from the official, I guess.
Ryan Bruce for Independence and Carter Brown for Caney. Just wanted to play a little longer.
Official still talking things out near the 40-yard line.
It should be after the play. So the original 12-yard gain for McGrath should stand, but then a penalty after. We'll see which way that goes.
That'll help much, but the personal foul is assessed to Independence. And still waiting for them to mark that off. Not sure why they're taking the time to discuss this exactly. Should be pretty clear cut. Coach Bolger getting an explanation there on that one as well, and the White Hat also talking with Josh Prawley about what happened. But once they do get that marked off, it's going to bring up third. And it looks like officially 23 for Independence at their own 25-yard line. So Bulldogs got a tall task ahead of them here on this one. Under 8 minutes to go in the second quarter. Prawley in the shotgun, takes the snap, fakes the handoff, keeps it himself, gets wrapped up in the backfield, not refusing to go down, but eventually succumbs to the pressure, ends up losing a yard on the play.
And it's going to be a loss of 2, and as of right now, Kane, I have that as 5 negative plays plus a fumble and 3 incomplete passes.
It's a rough stretch.
And we're midway through the second quarter.
Yeah, still 7:25 left and counting here in the second quarter. Independence punt team out on the field. Low snap, picked up, however, and kicked away. Low kick, end over end. Takes a beneficial bounce. That one's touched. Independence recovers it, and the Bulldogs will get it at the 30-yard line.
How about this? Ryan Bruce redeeming himself after the personal foul, recovers the muff punt.
So Independence getting some strong field position, officially at the 29-yard line. But the Bulldogs still, Brett, they're going to have to do something with it.
Well, this drive now could be a make or break for this game, because you're riding high, big turnover, you gained 40 yards?
Yeah, essentially on that exchange.
You've got to do something with this. If you don't, all the momentum is with Caney.
Yep, cannot be deflated here on this drive as the Bulldogs with some renewed hope in the shotgun set. Handoff going to go to Farley up the middle, bouncing off defenders out near the 25-yard line. That's where he'll get stuck after the gain of 4. It'll bring up 2nd and 6, under 7 to go before we hit halftime.
And Farley now with 3 carries for 32 yards. He did have the 24-yard big run to the outside that got the Bulldogs into the red zone the initial time.
Ball going to be spotted at the Caney Valley 26-yard line for Independence. In the shotgun once again, tight formation. Fakes the handoff, pitches it. It's lost in the backfield, however, by McGrath. Picks it up, reverses field, then tries to cut and loses his footing. He goes down after a loss of close to 2, maybe 3 on that. Looked like going to see a little Bo Jackson action there, or maybe Barry Sanders, but lost his footing.
Prawley tried to lay a block, and I give him credit. But I'm sure when he looked up and realized who he was laying the block on, it was on number 66 for Caney. 66, if I had to guess.
If we don't have weights.
If I had to guess, I'm saying 5'10", 5'11", 240, 250. Josh Prawley's not that.
But he decided to throw it regardless. Shotgun set, 3rd and 9, fires it out there, incomplete. No receiver really in the area. Prawley gets hit in the process.
And Prawley just thrown to the ground as soon as he let go. And, I mean, not a great throw, but he really had no chance to set his feet and attempt to make a good throw.
So 4th and 9, Independence in go-for-it territory, and Bulldogs will take a timeout with 5:46 left in the second quarter. It's 21-0 Caney Valley. We'll take a 30-second timeout. You're listening to Bulldog Football right here on Indy 102.9.
The name Newkirk Denison Buckles is synonymous with hometown insurance. Always having your best interests at heart with the ability to design the product to fit your specific needs. Having the right insurance for your family, home, or business is important. Depend on Newkirk Denison Buckles. They have been actively serving the community for over 100 years as insurance experts. When you think insurance, think Newkirk Denison Buckles with locations in Independence, Neodesha, Coffeyville, Fredonia, and Caney.
Coming out of the timeout, Independence in a tough situation. It's 4th and 9 at the Caney Valley 28-yard line. Bulldogs down by 21 with 5:46 left in the second quarter.
Yeah, real quick, Kane. Chanute leading Iola. That one's at 21-0. Great Bend over Coffeyville, 14-6. Fort Scott with a 22-7 lead over Parsons.
Bulldogs having to go for it here in the shotgun. 3 wide receiver set for Prawley. He'll drop back to pass, throws the middle screen. It's going to be short as the pressure was coming strong. Prawley gets knocked down in the process, and it'll be a turnover on downs. And I don't know, got a lot of whistles being blown on the far side of the field. Not sure what they're trying to signal. The clock not start?
I can't see the clock from where I'm sitting.
It didn't look like the clock started. I'm not sure exactly what they were getting at. 5:41 on the clock is maybe it didn't stop. But it will be a turnover on downs, and Bullpups will have possession of the football once again. Wishbone set up the middle with it. Flag goes flying in the process.
Independence had too many guys on the field.
Pick up a 5.
Like 77, Trace Smith tried to get off the field before the play started, unable to.
Talked about it in pregame a little bit, how important penalties and turnovers play a factor really in any game, but especially your first game of the year when you probably expect to see a little more of those happening over the course of the game, and Independence certainly had their fair share of those.
It has definitely not been a pretty first half. And what's unfortunate, Caney hasn't done anything tricky. I mean, it's just, they're just running at you using different guys.
And we knew, once again, it's an inexperienced Independence team. A lot of young kids out there. You lost a ton of starters on both sides of the ball, so definitely knew it was going to be a growing process for this Bulldog team. And seeing that out there here tonight, those kids are certainly giving it their all, but having a difficult time overcoming some things, especially on the defensive side of it, but also the offensive end of it. And I think that's really where it's more illustrative is Independence is having those difficulties. You see it on the offensive end. It's a little more glaring with the snap a little bit. We've seen some low snaps. We've seen some miscommunications on handoffs, on some blocking assignments. And Bulldogs, they're going to have that over the course of this season, especially with a lot of that youth.
Hopefully it's a team that grows as the season goes on.
Well, they're going to have their chance to, that's for sure. They're going to have to do it on the road, unfortunately. So once again, not many home games. So 1st and 5 after the accepted penalty, as we mentioned. Too many men on the field. Caney Valley with the run up the middle. About a 4-yard gain. It'll bring up 2nd and 1 for the Bullpups.
As Kane said earlier, it looked like number 11 on the carry. Beats me who had the ball that time.
Hard to tell in any frame of it. Up the middle with it once again, plowing his way through a pile of defenders, and it's enough for the first down. It'll move the chains for Caney Valley. 1st and 10 at their own 42-yard line. 5:33 left in the second quarter. 21-0 in favor of the Bullpups. Handoff, right-hand side, finding a lot of room, breaking it to the outside, down to the 40, the 30, to the 20, into the side to the 10-yard line, and getting pulled down from behind as that time it was Grant Ritchie finding a ton of room and exploding to the outside. It'll bring up another 1st and goal for the Bullpups.
It's going to be a 50... Stay where they're 50.
No, we'll wait.
51 if they stay where they're at.
Yeah, I know. You got to wait for that spot, which is always tough to do.
Yeah, it's going to be a 51-yard run by Grant Ritchie.
He had a big one earlier as well. Back in the wishbone, tight formation set, handed off left-hand side, getting pulled down after a gain of 3. It'll bring up 2nd and goal from the 5 for the Bullpups. Under 5 to go in the second quarter. Currently 21-0 Caney Valley, and Bullpups looking to increase that lead.
Grant Ritchie is having a very good football first half.
Yeah, that's the crazy part about it. It's just the first half.
Grant Ritchie right now has 15 carries, 174 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
They hand it off the left-hand side this time. Carrying it is Matthew Simpson, and he'll work his way into the end zone from 5 yards out. That'll be enough for another touchdown and puts this at 27-0 in favor of Caney Valley. 4:27 left in the second quarter. And casting a bit of a pall over the home crowd. As Independence not having many answers on the defensive side. PAT pending, kick is up, and it is good. It'll be 28-0 Caney Valley. We'll take a 60-second timeout. You're listening to Bulldog Football right here on Indy 102.9.
You're on the go, and we are too. Community National Bank and Trust introduces our app upgrade for mobile banking, now better than ever. From your smartphone or tablet, you can view account balances, see your transaction history, transfer funds, and pay bills. It doesn't get any more convenient than that. Enroll in Community National Bank and Trust online banking and download our updated app today. Banking on the go from Community National Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Who doesn't love being number one? When your team's dominating the standings, or your favorite band rocks the charts at number one, it feels good, right? Kind of like how it feels when you have auto insurance with State Farm. Because making you feel like number one is an honor your local State Farm agent takes seriously. Through the good times and not so good, your State Farm agent's proud to be here to help life go right.
State Farm Agent Kirk Wright, 1701 West Main in Independence, or call 620-331-1245.
Back here at Emmett Field, Independence, Kansas, 28-0 in favor of Caney Valley. Independence set to receive the kickoff. They've got about 4 minutes and 27 seconds left before we hit halftime to try and mount some sort of offensive possession that hopefully can result in some points. We knew there would be growing pains for this Independence team, and we're seeing it. A lot of youth across the board. Kick is away, and it goes out of bounds. Another flag comes flying in, and Independence with an opportunity, dare I say, to get good field position. But, Brett, unfortunately, Independence is just not capitalized on it. Again, we knew a lot of young kids along the offensive line and even at some skill positions, and we knew this was a potential to happen with Independence struggling on the offensive side and the defensive side for that matter, but would like to see some positives, especially going into halftime.
Yeah, you could do something big here, and I've seen bigger comebacks before.
Yeah, we have, haven't we?
Yeah.
What were you referring to?
Not high school, but...
neither was I. You talking Chiefs?
No.
The Colts game? Oh, okay. Can you stop? Shotgun set. Prawley with it. Gets hit in the backfield. He'll spin away out of it, and then gets pulled down near the 40-yard line. Gain of 5.
Why don't you go draft another kicker in the second round?
We got rid of him. That experiment lasted long enough. It'll bring up 2nd and 5 for the Bulldogs.
I don't like you talking about my Chiefs game. You've, ruined my mood for the rest of the game. I was in a good mood. Going to bring up that playoff game. Get out of here.
2nd and 5 for Independence. Twin wideouts to the far side. Handoff goes to McGrath. McGrath gets stuck around the 40. Tries to fight his way. Gets a yard in the process. It'll bring up 3rd and 4 for the Bulldogs.
And McGrath now 6 carries, 17 yards. Prawley 8 carries for 7. Farley with the 3 carries for 32 yards. However, 24 of those on the one play. Prawley also 2 of 5 through the air. That's not right. I'm just going to stop.
No, we'll get to that in a minute. 3rd and 4. Prawley hands it off again. McGrath finding some good room near the first down marker and beyond. He'll move the chains as Independence handing the ball off tackle. They found some success. 3:04 left in the second quarter.
Probably 2 of 7 passing.
There we go.
Not 2 of 5. 2 of 7 for 13 yards.
Ball spotted at the Independence 47-yard line. Clock ticking under 3 minutes. Shotgun set for Prawley. Takes the snap, hands it off to Farley, loses it in the exchange. Ball loose. And I think Independence recovered it after a loss of 1. Couldn't really tell.
Didn't look like a clean handoff.
Yeah.
It's okay to talk down on Frawley on a bad handoff once.
Just saying that.
He is like gone on the field out there.
I mean, the location, it didn't seem like it was too high or too low. It just seemed like he almost pitched it to him when it was supposed to be a handoff, I guess. But
it was a very quick exchange.
2nd and 11, trip wideouts, and looks like we're going to have a false start.
On the center.
Yep, double clutched that one. Sort of pump fake the snap.
If you're the center and you start, just go, man.
Yeah. So that'll be 5 yards marked off for the Independence offense.
Like Lloyd said.
Just go, man. So 2nd and 16 coming up for the Independence offense. We knew penalties would probably play a pretty big factor in this game, and we are certainly seeing that.
It wasn't too bad early on.
Yeah, just started mounting a little bit.
The guy's tiring out.
Prawley fires it down the field. It goes through the hands of the defender, incomplete. At the 2-minute mark.
Got to give Prawley credit. He, as soon as got the snap, man in his face and stepped up, avoided pressure, rolled out, and when he made the throw, got stuck.
Yeah, there's been some pretty solid pressure when Independence has decided to throw the football from any place, but particularly from that right-hand side. Probably saw it coming and stepped up in the pocket.
That is 5 straight incomplete passes for Prawley.
Yeah, hasn't had a ton of success throwing it down the field. But Independence with 3rd and 16 from their own 41-yard line. 2 minutes left in the second quarter. Prawley in the shotgun, trip wideouts to the far side. Receiver will come to the near side, and a lot of confusion out there as they finally get the clock started. Shotgun goes through the hands of Prawley, loose in the backfield, picks it up, fires it complete to McGrath. McGrath avoiding defenders as best he can, but he'll end up losing a yard on that reception.
Could have been a lot worse, Kane.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of that.
They made a play out of that.
Give credit to both Prawley and McGrath on that. It'll bring up 4th and long for Independence with 1:39 left. They say he didn't catch that, or clock not running for some reason. Still 1:39 left in the second quarter. Clock does start running, so and then a flag comes out as Carl wants to talk to the white hat. The flag was for delay of game, but the game clock wasn't running as it should. However, the play clock was. Carl wanted a reset of the play clock and didn't get it. So the flag came out. Coach Bolger going to have a talk with the officials about that.
I'm not saying he's wrong or right, but I will say, when you come off a season like last year, you get accustomed to, I want to win.
Mm-hmm.
And you come out like this and not a good first half. It's easy to say, hey, ref, you did this wrong. You know what I'm saying, though?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying when he throws that flag and Coach Bolger says, no.
Yeah,
that clock wasn't running.
Exactly. You want to latch onto something there, and it has been a frustrating first half. And, again, as we've been saying, it's a very young team and a lot of different players playing in positions that they didn't see a lot of playing time in last year. So Independence set the punt, 1:12 left in the second quarter. They're down 28-0. Farley to punt it. Gets a good snap this time. Kicks this one away.
Good
spiraling kick. Takes a good Independence bounce inside the 10 out near the 5-yard line, and it'll be down just inside the 5-yard line.
How about that?
So a little bit of a positive there in that situation. 52 seconds left in the second quarter.
Kane, that was a 56-yard punt down at the 4-yard line.
Definitely can't ask for a much better punt.
Texas punters couldn't do that good in Lawrence.
Not at all. I knew you were waiting on that. You didn't have anything on Tampa Bay because they haven't been successful lately, so.
Oh, I could go all day on Tampa Bay. Aguayo.
52 seconds left in the second quarter, as we mentioned. I'll have to see if, imagine Caney's just going to still run that football, of course, and Independent's going to have to do whatever they can to stop it, because they've been picking up yards in bunches, but Caney decides to take a knee, actually, inside the 5. Both teams just looking to get to halftime.
It's kind of a gutsy play. I mean, I get it.
It's a good idea.
But...
And I mean, a good idea in the long run in general. Why subject your players to any more hits than necessary?
I saw a game live one time where a team attempting to take a knee to kick a game-winning field goal, and Phillip Rivers, the crybaby he is, dropped the ball, and the Chiefs picked it up and won the game in overtime.
I do remember that game, actually.
Great night.
That was an interesting series of events, to say the least, on that one. So Caney Valley just going to have to take another knee here to try to work things to halftime. And they do. And both teams trotting off the field. 28-0. Caney Valley with the lead here at the half. We're going to send it back to the studio for 3 minutes. And then when we come back, we'll have our Newkirk Denison Buckles halftime show. You're listening to Bulldog Football right here on Indy 102.9.
We're pet people. You're pet people. And this fall, Equity Bank is proud to be the official bank of pets. In August and September, for every new household that opens a new checking account, we'll donate $25 to a local animal cause. Plus, when you say hello to Equity Bank, you say goodbye to ATM fees. Equity Bank, the official bank of pets. Member FDIC, terms and conditions apply. When you have an emergency, you need a comprehensive healthcare facility that puts your mind at ease every step of the way. The emergency department at Labette Health Independence Healthcare Center offers patients fast access to vital healthcare services. Our quick response heart attack and stroke protocols ensure diagnostics begin rapidly. A state-of-the-art facility for state-of-the-art care. Labette Health Independence Healthcare Center, where we center around you.
Want to make your home a more comfortable place, but don't think you can afford a top brand heating and cooling system? Well, Carrier has the right solutions for every budget. When you turn to your Carrier expert, they'll show you our full lineup of best-in-class home comfort systems and help you pick the one that best fits into your home budget. Because in this economy, who couldn't use a little more comfort?
Lee's Cooling and Heating in Independence. Call 620-331-2310. 118 South 8th Street, Independence.
We are all faced with tough decisions when choosing a home away from home for our loved ones. Medical Lodges and Grand Villas of Independence offer a wide variety of services ranging from an assisted living community to skilled nursing or long-term care.
Whether you're seeking a place to make new friends or recover and go home, Medical Lodges and Grand Villas Independence.
Call me, Megan, at Medical Lodges, 331-8789.
Or call me, Amber, at Grand Villas, 331-2260. We serve and enhance the lives of others with caring hands.
What makes a good pharmacy? At the Medicine Shop Pharmacy, it's a genuine interest in you and your personal health care needs. They help with all your health questions and concerns and offer health screenings that help monitor your health, sponsor health events that keep you informed of the most important advancements. And of course, a good pharmacy also provides a full range of the products you need for good health, from the national brands to trusted Medicine Shop brands. So what makes a good pharmacy? It's the Medicine Shop Promise. Pride in knowing medicine and also you in order to meet your individual health needs accurately and completely. 400 North Penn in Independence.
The name Newkirk Denison Buckles is synonymous with hometown insurance, always having your best interests at heart with the ability to design the product to fit your specific needs. Having the right insurance for your family, home, or business is important. Depend on Newkirk Denison Buckles. They have been actively serving the community for over 100 years as insurance experts. When you think insurance, think Newkirk Denison Buckles, with locations in Independence, Neodesha, Coffeyville, Fredonia, and Caney.
You're listening to the IHS Bulldogs on KBIK Independence, Indy 102.9.
We welcome you back to Emmett Field. It's 28-0 in favor of Caney Valley here at halftime. This is our Newkirk, Denison Buckles halftime show. I'm Kane Carpenter, along with me, Brett Shields. And Brett, here in this one, it's been a case of Independence playing like the young team that they are. We've seen their fair share of penalties, some turnovers, miscues, inability to really execute. I mean, not terribly surprising, but it has been a little frustrating, especially on the offensive end, because Independence, with some of the field position they've been granted, they've been very close to being able to put some points up on the board. They've simply just not been able to finish some of those things out and been able to get it into the end zone.
Yeah, definitely, like you said, been frustrating on the offensive side. The defensive side, I mean, I don't know how to word this. The front seven has really struggled with Caney Valley's offensive line. They've been
getting pushed around.
They've been getting pushed around, and it's hard to say, you know, that secondary. Caney hadn't thrown the ball. Why would they at this point?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just...
I don't think Caney's thrown it once, have they?
No, they have not.
Yeah, which, again, why necessarily? Because, as we've talked about, Caney Valley's been so successful, especially running the ball between the tackles. I mean, I guess give Independence credit defensively. When they've tried to pitch things to the outside, not much success, if any at all, for Caney Valley. But that interior, they've had a hard time really granting control of the line of scrimmage, and that's basically been the story of things for Caney Valley. And I'm sure the stats, when it's all said and done especially, will kind of bear that a little bit as Caney Valley's had their way on the ground.
Well, as a team, Caney Valley's ran the ball 31 times for 248 yards.
First half. And that's pretty much
nearly 250 on the ground.
That's pretty much been the story of it for Caney Valley. As Brett mentioned, Bullpups haven't thrown the ball at all in the first half of this game. Now, for Independence, it's been a bit of a different story. Offensively, and I can't blame them, they've just been trying to throw whatever they can at the wall and see what sticks, and that's really not been much. We saw Independence having some success moving the ball by running it earlier in this game. We talk about some of the nice runs either Jaden McGrath had or Marion Farley in this game, but not having a ton of running room really through the mid part of the first quarter onward. And to be fair, a lot of that rests on the shoulder of the offensive line. They've not been winning the battle at the line of scrimmage themselves when they've had the football, and that you kind of see the result of that when you see some negative yardage plays in the running game, and even when you try to throw the football.
Yeah, it's just it's tough. Yeah, I don't want to say I'm at a loss for words, but I am. It's a tough half. It's like I said about Coach Boulder there, you know, right before halftime. You know, you try to find little things that you want to go your way. But yeah, you had the big turnover on the muff punt, but unfortunately unable to turn that into anything. See here, Caney had a fumble, Carter Brown in the red zone
after Independence had fumbled away.
Yeah.
So Independence granted new life essentially,
and just couldn't do anything. So Independence has been inside the 30-yard line twice, in the red zone once, and neither time has been able to do anything with it.
And it's been miscues. It's something you and I talk about, just even with the structure of this offense from year to year, not even concerned with who the players are in the offense from year to year. This is an Independence team that really likes to run the football, and they sustain drives. That's what the offense is predicated on, the ability to sustain drives. And the worst thing that type of offense can have happen to it is, as we mentioned in pregame and really throughout the first half, is have plays that result in negative yardage, penalties, or really even plays that result in no yardage. They have to have positive yardage going on every play to be able to sustain drives. When you're young like this Independence offense is, when you've got a lot of players playing in positions they didn't get a ton of playing time in last year because you had so many seniors on this Independence team last season. They're having to adjust to a lot of these things, and we're seeing that out there. It's resulted in those miscues. It's resulted in those penalties. It's resulted in some of those negative plays. We've seen a lot of snaps that have been low or maybe a little too high for Josh Prawley to be able to handle, and it's resulted in some fumbles. We've seen some handoffs not be clean that have either resulted in some fumbles or some missteps by the Independence running backs. We've seen some missed blocks. That's going to happen. That's really going to be the story of this Bulldog team. And like you said earlier, Brett, it's going to come down to how much this Independence team can grow as this season moves forward. And that's probably going to be the story of the season for the Independence Bulldogs.
Yeah, and the schedule does not get easier.
It's not favorable, especially from a travel point of view.
That's for sure. Yeah.
Now, in all fairness, they play against some teams that, at least based off last year, were in a similar position Independence was in. Anderson County being one of those, El Dorado being one of those. Look, I know Parsons should be much improved this season, but they're going to have to prove it. We kind of talk about that from year to year. So Independent's going to have some opportunities, but as long as this is a Bulldog team that keeps getting better from week to week, that's going to be the most important thing, especially given how young they are. You got a lot of kids that are sophomores on this team playing some significant playing time. I mean, you do have your veterans, so to speak, your seniors, your senior leadership out there in some spots, but you've had to make some concessions along the way for it. I know it's not an ideal situation for this Independence team, Brett, but you've had to put Josh Prawley into the quarterback spot because I think that probably does give Independence their best option, but it does take away a pretty important runner you have, especially getting the handoff out of the tailback spot, and that shifts the focus of your offense quite a bit.
And we've seen Prawley run a couple times.
But it is different not getting that handoff.
True, but whether he's running the ball, throwing the ball, it appears there's somebody in his face almost every single time.
Yeah, it's going to come down to that offensive line and defensive line, and it's not getting down on those kids. They're young. We know that. A lot of inexperience, but they're going to have to take those lumps and grow and be a better team as this season goes along, and I think that's definitely going to happen for this Independence team. It's unfortunate seeing the way it plays out here tonight, but going forward in the second half, Brett, for Independence, I think, at least from my point of view, the biggest thing they're going to have to do is just simply cut down on mistakes, and everything in the mistake entails, be it a penalty, be it a turnover, be it lack of execution on a given play. Independence has to cut down on those factors pretty severely in the second half. Whether this game ultimately is going to be winnable or not for Independence, of course, remains to be seen, but it's going to have to start that Independence has to play from a point of view of we need to treat this like it's 0-0, as if the score essentially doesn't matter, and go out and simply try to execute offensively and defensively the way we want to, because Independence does not need to be put into a situation where they feel like they have to play catch-up, being down 28-0 here at halftime.
Yeah, and that's the worst thing you can do in this situation is come out and, well, we got to throw the ball. Just throw. Stick to what you do. And, yeah, you know, it really hasn't been working.
And it may not win you the game, ultimately. And I'm not saying that necessarily means concede the game, but you just need to figure out that you can execute these plays.
Something that I said last year, I remember, surprisingly, I don't remember a lot of stuff, but I remember last year, the Baser-Linwood game, halftime of that game, it was, I'm trying to remember how that game went. Early on, the first quarter, Independence hung in there.
Yeah, they did.
And then the late second quarter, Baser scored like 3 touchdowns in a row. And we sat up here and I said, hey, Independence doesn't have to win this game, but if they can win the second half and build throughout the season, they can win the SEK. Yeah. They've got a good enough team. And they did that. They went out there and they didn't outscore Baser in the second half, but they made them earn it.
Yeah.
And they made a game out of it. Not true either. They competed.
And that's what it's going to take.
They competed.
And they take that on a different level.
They told themselves, you know what? Next week we go up to Garnett and we have to play Anderson County. We can beat them. We can beat El Dorado. We can beat the 3 teams in our district, and they did. They made it to state level.
They did. They, of course, play that.
That's what you got to do here tonight.
Lewisburg, and
you can't look ahead and say, well, since we got Fort Scott next week now. You know that these kids know that who they play next week, but they need to say, man, we cannot go out here and just let Caney continue to run all over us. We got to go out there and put up a fight and show, hey, you know what? May not come back from a 28-point deficit, but win the second half.
Like you say, yeah. Win the second half.
Take an 18-hour bus trip to Fort Scott.
Oh, if only that was the shortest trip we make this year.
And that's not even our long trip this year.
I know. That's true. Again, they're going to be the road warriors this season. But like you say, Brett, it's about winning the second half. That's going to be the main thing. Right now, we'll take a 30-second timeout. When we come back, we'll have more of our Newkirk, Denison Buckles halftime show. You're listening to Bulldog Football right here on Indy 102.9.
The name Newkirk, Denison Buckles is synonymous with hometown insurance. Always having your best interests at heart with the ability to design the product to fit your specific needs. Having the right insurance for your family, home, or business is important. Depend on Newkirk, Denison Buckles. They have been actively serving the community for over 100 years as insurance experts. When you think insurance, think Newkirk, Denison Buckles with locations in Independence, Neodesha, Coffeyville, Fredonia, and Caney.
Back here at Emmett Field, 28-0 is the score in favor of the Caney Valley Bullpups. They hold the lead over the Independence Bulldogs here at home. This is our Newkirk, Denison Buckles halftime show. I'm Kane Carpenter. Along with me, Brett Shields, and still got some time left here in halftime. Brett, I got some scores from around the area. I knew a lot of non-league games going on tonight.
Yeah, Kane, you may not believe me. You will in a minute, but of the area scores I'm going to read to you, this is one of the closer games.
I didn't think there were going to be a lot of close games in the area, to be fair.
We'll kind of go like close to not close.
Yeah.
The last score I got out of Coffeyville was with 10 minutes left in the second quarter, so I assume they're way past that now. But last I saw, Great Bend 14, Coffeyville 6. Tight one there still. Cherryville had a halftime lead of 20-0 at Erie. They're going to start spreading out here a little more.
It's going to be a little...
Chanute on the road in Iola. They have a 28-0 lead against the Mustangs. They're getting ready to get real ugly now.
Fort Scott.
We'll get to that one last.
No.
Well, it's not the biggest spread, but just because that's who we play next.
Gotcha.
The next two opponents in that game.
True.
Labette County is at Fredonia tonight. And Fredonia probably wants them to leave town.
42-0?
57-0. They're still in the first half.
Serious?
Still in the first half, 57-0. And over in Parsons at beautiful whatever field that's called.
They're in Parsons. Sorry, I thought they were at Fort Scott.
Big Hump Field.
There you go. That works.
There's a minute left in the second quarter. It is Parsons 0, Fort Scott 56.
Well, Fort Scott picked to win the SEK this year, and might be an interesting game, at least based on this first week between them and Labette County when they play against one another, when it all comes down to
both posting shutouts and both with over 50 points in the first half.
Tough sledding there. Doesn't look like that speed's helping Parsons much in that game. Is not able to put up any points there on the board. A lot of football going on here tonight, of course. Most games around the state of Kansas going on. There were a few that did play last night. We did mention Galena knocking off Colgan in that matchup. But Independence's next week opponent at Fort Scott, the Bulldogs will be on the road, take on the Tigers, as the Tigers are having their way with the Parsons Vikings currently over in Parsons between those two teams. So for Independence here tonight, again, 28-0 the score. Caney Valley with the lead over the Independence Bulldogs. And both these teams out here tonight, Brett, we talked about it a little earlier, about having to win the half. That's exactly what Independence is going to have to come out and do. Cannot fall into the trap of trying to throw, play it within the scheme of your offense. And it'll be interesting to see. You and I talk about this from time to time, but Independence does seem like they play stronger in the second half. Not sure what Coach Bolger says to them at halftime typically, but we do see a bit of a renewed effort, so to speak, from the Bulldogs coming out of the second half, and hoping to see a bit of that here in this one.
Yeah, definitely going to have to look at this as a totally new ball game. If you're the kids, you've got to just look up and see 0-0 on the board. You can't look up. If you keep looking up and you see 28-0, that digs at you. It doesn't dig at you like 57-0 would, but
no, not at all.
But it's still. And I guess also it depends on the player. I'm sure there's some players that look up and say, that's nothing.
Yeah.
But there's, especially those younger classmen, are going to look up and say, man, this is tough, blah, blah, blah. But you got to count on those seniors right now to say, hey, you guys have been part of some winning teams the last couple of years. You can still do it. You just got to rally these younger kids around you, go out there, execute. And, yeah, you know what? Caney's got some big dudes on the line. But if you keep your form, you block like you're supposed to, a 200-pound kid can block a 260-pound kid.
That's where it's going to come down to, leadership and execution. And you can't really stress those 2 points enough, is Independence just has not executed well in this game, and I put that a lot on young kids. I understand, I'm not trying to make excuses necessarily, but you kind of thought maybe that would be the case from time to time. But Independence is going to have a great opportunity to go out here in this second half, execute the way they know they're capable of executing, and trying to put some points on the board, because it's not been for lack of opportunity. Independence certainly has had those opportunities, but just have not been able to capitalize on them, unfortunately. But we'll have to see how they work things out coming into the third and the fourth quarter. We'll take a 30-second timeout, wrap up our Newkirk, Denison Buckles halftime show, send it back to the studio for that 30 seconds. When we come back, we'll have the third quarter. You're listening to Bulldogs football right here on Indy 102.9.
Yep, you're going to look good in this house. Are we ready to make an offer?
Well, we really love this house.
Yes, we really love this house, but $120,000 is as high as we can go on this house.
You're kidding me, right? I see what kind of car you're driving. You got lots of money. You can do better than that. Sheesh!
Tired of being hounded? Then visit us at Midwest Real Estate. Your home, our commitment. Online at MidwestKS.com.
You're listening to the IHS Bulldogs on KBIK Independence, Indy 102.9.
Back here at Emmett Field, Independence, Kansas. Getting ready for the start of this one. Start of the third quarter, rather. So you got me buying into the whole, treat it as if it's 0-0 coming in.
You're buying what?
Buying into it's 0-0.
How much?
Feel like we're starting this one all over again, but Bulldogs definitely going to have, their work cut out for them. As both of these teams getting ready to take the field here. I guess here in another couple minutes. They added a few more minutes back up on the board as went through that 20-minute halftime.
20 minutes wasn't enough.
Getting ready for that. But Independence hopefully going to have that opportunity, as Brett and I discussed, with executing better in the second half, both offensively and defensively.
And they put that 3 minutes up to let the team stretch. That's what they do. They run out the clock and they add a 3 minute for stretching. But both teams ran out onto the field.
They were ready.
And already did that. So hopefully the officials just standing down. What is that, the northwest corner of the field? See, I'm good at the direction stuff.
Got it.
And now everybody's switching sides. Independence had the kickoff return lined up, but realized they were at the wrong end of the field.
Independence will be set to receive. So a bit of good news for the Bulldogs as well. We've mentioned it several times earlier in our broadcast, is this Independence team, when they've had the ball, they've had opportunities. It's just coming down to being able to work and capitalize on those opportunities. Independence has been set in some pretty decent field position, to say the least.
Looks like the officials are just going to let this clock run, man.
They get paid by the hour.
They are not having it. Here they come.
Yep, both teams set up, ready.
They're spread out, ready to go, and the officials are just like, nope.
We're going to wait for that clock to hit zeros. So they'll finally trot on out here, get the ball going, and Caney Valley ready to kick it off to Independence. As I mentioned, Independence was going from left to right. They will have the ball. Bulldogs down 28-0 to Caney Valley currently. Is that first half pretty much all Bull Pups. Getting the ball set up there at the 40-yard line for Caney Valley to kick this one off. They'll get this one set. Bulldog players trying to get the Independence crowd into it. Hopefully Independence going to give the crowd some things to cheer about here on this drive. Kick is finally away. Squib kick fielded at the 26-yard line. Up the middle with it. Out to the left-hand side across the 40. Brought down around the 42-yard line. That was Braden Collar, as he was able to get that one from the up-back spot.
Good return by Collar, who isn't back there deep anyway to get the return. Kind of a blocker guy.
Yep, just there to block, but he decided to take it. Came to him. Why not? Independence once again with good field position, as they will take it at their own 43-yard line officially. 1st and 10, 11:53 left in the third quarter. Snap is away. Prawley, he'll hand it off. Off the right-hand side with it goes McGrath. Had one of his own linemen push back into him. He'll get knocked down. It'll be 2nd and 10 after no gain.
Yeah, McGrath looked like he had something going there and just got his feet tangled up with his own lineman.
So 2nd and 10 for the Bulldogs. Three wide receivers set in the shotgun for Prawley. He'll take the snap, looks, fires it. It's complete. Screen off to the near side. Getting pulled down, however, rather quickly was Adric Daniels, as he wasn't able to do much with it. I'm going to say picked up a yard, so it'll be 3rd and 9.
And it was a pass. And Prawley had thrown 5 straight incompletions. He did have the one pass that went for -1 yards to break that. I don't know what's worse, -1 or an incomplete.
Yeah, brings up 3rd and long. Twin wideouts to the near side, fakes the handoff. Prawley keeps it off the left-hand side, gets pulled down from behind after a gain of 3.5. It'll bring up 4th down now for the Independence offense with 10:30 left in the third quarter.
It looks as if Independence will go for it.
Ball's close to midfield, 46-yard line, down 28. Independence going to go ahead and throw the dice here and see what happens. Play gets called in. Independence breaks the huddle. Shotgun set, 2 running backs to either side of Prawley out of the gun. 2 wide receivers split out wide. Prawley looking like they're trying to get him to jump offside using the hard count. Couldn't get it to go. They'll take a timeout with 9:55 left in the third quarter. We'll take a 30-second timeout. You're listening to Bulldog Football right here on Indy 102.9. We'll keep it here. Actually, is Independence. Brett in a situation where kind of wondered if they were just going to use that rather to keep them in a situation to draw them off sides, whether they were actually going to go for it. Now, Independence, I still feel like they're going to go for it one way or another. But
Kane, while we do have this quick second here, we'll give you a score that's terrifying for any other 4A Division I school. Guess who?
Fort Scott?
No, Bishop Miege.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
4A number 1 Bishop Miege is playing 6A number 3 Blue Valley. It's 35-3 Bishop Miege. They're playing a school 2 classes bigger than them, ranked 3rd in the state, and they are leading them by 32 points.
Sounds about right, really. So Independent's going to go for it. 4th and 7. Prawley in the shotgun, takes the snap. Going to throw it. Gets hammered quickly. Is the blocking not there? And he'll throw it away incomplete as a last gasp measure. It'll be a turnover on downs.
Yeah, and probably the play action twice. And the running back split to each side of them. And, you know, the way the line's blocking, just don't have time to do a play action twice.
Yeah, that's true. Hadn't had much time back there, that's for sure. So, again, a turnover on downs. And Caney Valley with the football is handoff on the left-hand side, right up the gut with it. Pick up 9, close to 10 on that carry after being drugged down. As I check to see who that was on that one. Didn't quite. Might have been. Yeah, they're going to say Richard on that one, or excuse me. I don't know who they're going to say on that one.
I missed it. Was really relying on you, Kane.
Yeah, I couldn't see the number. He trotted away. Try to get that here in a sec. 2nd and 1. Going to run the option. Pitches it back. It's taken in by Ritchie. Ritchie gets it across the first down marker and across the 30-yard line while he's at it before being brought down at the 29. It'll be enough to move the chains.
It's going to be about a 7-8 yard gain. Looks like there's an injured Bulldog out on the field now.
Yeah, looks like Aiden Charter, I believe, number 11. He's having a hard time getting up. Might be a cramp there. Hopefully nothing too serious. We'll go ahead and send it back to the studio for 30 seconds. It's 28-0 Caney Valley with 9:20 left in the third quarter. You're listening to Bulldogs football right here on Indy 102.9.
Quality Toyota and Quality Motors are proud supporters of IHS Athletics. We would like to encourage fans and players to keep up the great example of sportsmanship that is an Independence tradition. Quality Automotive Group also has a rich tradition of helping local folks get the best deal on a new or used car or truck. For example, I have a great school or commuter car, a 2011 Camry with only 56,000 miles. Stop by either side of the street and tell them you're here for the IHS Supporter Special and get a $1,000 discount. Go Bulldogs.
Coming out of the timeout, still got the injured Bulldog out there on the field with 9:20 left in the third quarter. It's 28-0 as Charter able to get up under his own power and walk off the field with a little bit of a limp. At least that's good to see. He's able to walk off under his own power. Doesn't appear to be anything too serious. So 1st and 10 as the teams will trot back out onto the field. For Caney Valley, a fresh set of downs at the Independence 30-yard line. Carter Brown back into the game at quarterback for Caney Valley. Under center, takes the handoff, keeps it, ball loose, that's a fumble. Independence recovers it. That's Independence football at the 34-yard line. That ball just sort of squirted out there at the last second, caught almost everybody by surprise.
Like Wyatt Chisholm was the one that came in and made the recovery.
Right place, right time, so Independence fortunate getting the football back after the turnover, getting some life injected back into this team. Now the offense is going to be called upon once again. Brett, hate to beat a dead horse, but it's got to come down to positive plays each time for this Independence team.
We'll see if they can get something going.
Shotgun set. Handoff going to go to McGrath. He gets hit in the backfield. He'll lose 2 yards on that carry as the line not able to get much of a block there. It'll bring up 2nd and 12. .9:11 left. Clock not running for some reason. Shotgun set for the Bulldogs. Probably looks to drop back, throws it over to his intended target. Caught, brought up to the 40-yard line. Is another good reception by Zadrick Daniels there.
And that one's going to go for 7. That's Daniels' 3rd reception now. but just for 15 total yards.
You know, we talked, Brett, you and I, before we went on the air about who we thought the receivers would be impactfully for this Independence team, and Aiden Charter and Cedric Daniels kind of proven that here a little bit here tonight in some of the limited action they've been given.
Who was the one that named those two?
You. Another low snap, and having to fall on it is Prawley, so wipe away that progress will be a loss of close to 6 in that exchange.
And with that loss, Independence going to punt.
Yeah, it brings up 4th and 11 from their own 33-yard line, so they're going to have to kick this one away. 8:07 left in the third quarter. Bulldogs down 28. Low snap again. Fields it, however. Kick is away. High spiraling kick. Fair catch called for at the 35-yard line by the Bull Pups, and that's where they'll take over possession of the football once again. Under 8 to go in the third quarter. But the defense not getting much of a break.
Yeah, it ended up being about a 32-yard punt. Not bad for being fair caught. A little wobbly, but hey.
Tough snap.
Yeah, oh yeah. There wasn't much of a rush, but when you get that low snap, you kind of go into panic mode, and I got to get rid of this.
Yep. Farley did a good job of keeping his composure, picking that one up off the turf and getting as good a kick away as he could. Back to the wishbone for the Bull Pups. Up the middle with it. A lot of room to run. Avoiding arm tackles and being drugged down from behind across the 45-yard line. A touchdown-saving tackle there by Ryan Bruce after the big gain.
It ended up being a gain of 24. And Caney Valley just continuing to go right through the heart of that Independence defense.
It's been between the tackles. It's been the sweet spot for the Caney Valley running game, that's for sure. 1st and 10, new set of downs at the Independence 41-yard line for Caney Valley. Under center, pitch going out to the left-hand side, gets some good blocking, finds the seal, cuts it back to the right-hand side across the 35-yard line, spinning down to the 34, and that'll be a pickup of 7. The Bull Pups finding more room on the ground.
And Grant Ritchie now 18 carries, 212 yards to go with his 2 touchdowns.
Pretty good average, too, while we're at it.
Yeah.
Back in the wishbone, 2nd and 3 for Caney Valley. Up the middle with it. Simpson has it, gets spun around, still fighting for yardage, however, but he'll get taken down at the first down marker. Probably going to be enough to move the chain.
And to add to what Ritchie has done, Matthew Simpson, 17 carries, 85 yards. He has 2 touchdowns on the ground as well.
It's been the 1-2 punch of Simpson and Ritchie for the most part, and it was enough to move the chains with 6:59 left in the third quarter.
Carter Brown credited with 2 carries, however, those were just 2 fumbles.
Yeah.
Cole Ellis with 1 carry for 9 yards. Other than that, yeah, just those 2.
Back, handoff, off the left-hand side. Simpson with it once again. Gets taken down after a gain of 3 on that carry.
Matthew Simpson takes the handoff.
Independence defensively still showing some good fight there. Seen a lot of kids still flying to the football. And they've played a lot of snaps out there on the field.
That defense has got to be getting tired. It's not that they've been out there that much, too. It's just run.
Pitch out wide. This time to Ritchie. Gets tackled from behind, and a flag comes flying in. Curious as to what this is going to be.
Prawley came, if you want to call that an outside linebacker, safety position, kind of a mix. Prawley came all the way around the line and chased down Ritchie.
Side of the field. So have to see what the penalty flag is. They're going to call a horse collar.
That is a
terrible
call.
Terrible call. The official that was in front of the ball carrier that made that call. Tough break.
First down for Caney.
Grabbed him by the arm more than anything, I thought. So that'll make a first down there, push it to the 12-yard line of the Bulldogs as Caney Valley looking to score again. Up the gut with it. Independence flying to the football, however. Gain of 2, if that, on the carry. I think Independence also throwing an extra down lineman on the defensive line as well, which has helped out quite a bit.
I'd pull both safeties and just put more linemen in.
Yeah, at that point, make them throw, yeah. I mean, truthfully.
I would have everybody just stacked up in the box.
They're going to have their chance to do that as ball on the 11-yard line going in. 2nd and 9 officially. They'll pitch it to the outside, looking to throw, and there it is. Incomplete as it fell short.
Maybe that's why they don't throw.
Well, that was a little trickery as it was pitched out to Grant Ritchie, the running back, and he stepped to throw, and it was not a good one to say the least. Fortunate for Independence because they were open, and that's kind of what you do when you sell out, though, but still, make them throw. Hey, yeah, they didn't complete it. I agree. You're right. I agree. They didn't get it there, so it'll bring up 3rd and 9 now for Caney Valley.
I haven't seen a lot of 3rd and 9 tonight.
Back to the wishbone, this time right up the middle, almost unchallenged into the end zone touchdown. As it looked like that time it was Matthew Simpson.
No, that was Ritchie.
Oh, no, yep, you're right. Ritchie that time as well. Taking that one into the end zone for another Caney Valley touchdown. It's 34-0 in favor of the Bull Pups with 5:05 left in the third quarter. PAT pending here. Kaiser setting up. Good snap, good hold, kick is up, and it's no good, actually. Missed that one to the right. So 34-0 the score, 5:05 left in the third quarter. We'll take a 60-second timeout. You're listening to Bulldog Football right here on Indy 102.9.
You hear every day about what makes an auto repair shop different than the others. AAA, ASA, ASE? What's all this alphabet soup mean? Well, AAA and ASA memberships include on-site monthly inspections, higher standards, and ongoing technician certifications. You can rest assured that having technicians whom are members of the Automotive Service Excellence, or ASE, your vehicle is being repaired right the first time. Call the Car Shop for those great mechanics you've been looking for. 331-3553, The Car Shop in Independence.
No matter which team you're rooting for, we've got you covered. Community National Bank and Trust offers your favorite school mascot on our debit cards. And what's even better, for every card issued, we'll donate $3 directly to your school. It's just another way Community National Bank and Trust supports our community. Come get your mascot card at any of our 29 locations today. Community National Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Back here at Emmett Field, Independence, Kansas, 34-0 after the missed point after a touchdown by Caney Valley. Bull Pups with the big 34-point lead over Independence. As things not going the way for the Bulldogs, although a lot of it's self-inflicted, is Independence having a tough time executing on either side of the football. Kick it away, fielded at the 13-yard line, down the sideline with it out across the 25 before getting tripped up near the 27. On that return was Jaden McGrath, and not able to find much blocking down the sideline. Jeff, I'm sorry.
I heard you starting to talk.
And I heard you breathe. I had to stop. Go for it.
Saying I breathe loud?
I just heard you getting ready to say something.
It wasn't important.
Something important, I'm sure.
No, I was just going to say...
Score?
No scores. Not yet, anyway. I'm getting there. Just going to say, okay, just see if the offense can get going now.
Yeah, again, it's going to have to be minor victories for the rest of this game for Independence, and seeing if this offense can put something together. Throwing the screen again to Daniels. Daniels, shifty little move to the inside across the 30 before getting tackled after reeling that one in. And doing a good job picking up 7 on that reception.
Yeah, and that's been the go-to receiver, especially lately. Probably now, I've got him 6 of 12, 27 yards. Cedric Daniels, 4 of those receptions. He's now got 22 yards receiving.
Some good execution there by that Independence offense. Like to see more of it here. Under 4.5 to go in the third quarter. Shotgun set for the Bulldogs. 3 wide receivers. Probably takes the snap, hands it off to McGrath. McGrath up the middle with it, fighting his way through some of that defense and picks up what he could. Going to get a hard-fought 2 yards. It'll bring up 3rd and 1 now for Independence. And to stress the point again, Brett, a lot of this, I think, is just execution by this Independence team. We see flashes of this offense being able to do some really good things. Seeing a little bit of it here now on this drive as well.
That 3rd and 1 is easily manageable.
Just cannot shoot yourself into the foot with some of those negative plays. 5 wide set for Independence. Pressure coming from Caney. Snap was there, but it fumbled away. Prawley can't get a hold of it, and it's recovered by Caney Valley in the backfield. Wasn't a bad snap there. Prawley just took his eye off of it, it looked like, and fumbled deep in Bulldog territory. Caney Valley football at the Independence 23-yard line. Man, that's what we talk about, with executing, and about every player for the Bulldogs here tonight's been guilty of not executing when they need to over the course of this one. It's going to be a hard lesson for the Bulldogs to learn. Caney Valley back in the wishbone. Timeout going to be called by Caney with 3:30 left in the 3rd quarter. They're up by 34. We'll take a 30-second timeout. You're listening to Bulldog football right here on Indy 102.9.
We're pet people, your pet people. And this fall, Equity Bank is proud to be the official bank of pets. In August and September, for every new household that opens a new checking account, we'll donate $25 to a local animal cause. Plus, when you say hello to Equity Bank, you say goodbye to ATM fees. Equity Bank, the official bank of pets. Member FDIC, terms and conditions apply.
Coming out of the timeout, still 34-0. Caney Valley with the lead over the Independence Bulldogs. 3:30 left in the 3rd quarter. Bull Pups have the football on the Independence 23-yard line after the fumble recovery.
Quick score, Kane. 4 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Great Bend 28, Coffeyville 12.
A lot closer game than I think a lot of people thought.
Yeah.
Handoff, going to go up the middle once again, picking and choosing his way, then finding the left-hand side across the 20. That time with the carry, number 11, Trent Haberly.
That really is number 11.
I know. Didn't fall for the fake 11 on his shoulders that time. Picked up 5. It'll bring up 2nd and 5 for Caney. Tight set out of the wishbone. Pressure in the backfield, falling forward, picking up a couple yards in the process. Independence doing a decent job blowing things up in the middle there, but still able to pick up about 2. It'll bring up 3rd and 3 for the Bullpups at the Independence 18-yard line.
That time it was Ellis on the carry, and he had a carry early in the 1st quarter. That's just his 2nd carry right there.
Yeah, probably at this stage of the game going to see different bevy of running backs. Has got a different set in the backfield to begin with, so. And officials timeout. Equipment issue, they get that sorted, restart things here. Back in the wishbone, handoff, right-hand side, off tackle, getting driven back, but getting close to the 1st down on that carry. As Ellis just going to be shy, it looks like, by half a yard.
Kick field goal.
Brings up 4th, and we'll call it 1 with 2:05 left in the 3rd quarter at the Independence 14-yard line. Caney Valley going to go for it, sort of in that no man's land.
Running it up.
Under center, handed off the left-hand side, getting tripped up across the 10, out near the 5. That'll be more than enough for the 1st down.
Good tackle by Braden Collar. He didn't get that. That's a touchdown.
Haberly with the carry on that one. Brings up 1st and goal from the Independence 5-yard line. Caney Valley looking to put more points up on the board. Under center goes Carter Brown for the Bullpups. Tight set, wishbone. Quarterback keeper. Plows his way up the middle, then spins away into the end zone for the touchdown. 40-0. Caney Valley, 1:21 left in the third quarter. And it has been all Caney Valley here in this one. Point after touchdown pending for the Bullpups. Lefty out there. Eric Kaiser for Caney Valley. Looks like they're waiting for another player. Yep, Caney doesn't have enough out there. Finally get that situation fixed. Player goes out on the field quickly. Kaiser waits the snap. Snap is away. Kick is away. Low and angled, but it's good. 41-0. Caney Valley with the lead. 1:21 left in the third quarter. We'll take a 60-second timeout. You're listening to Bulldog Football right here on Indy 102.9.
Who doesn't love being number one? When your team's dominating the standings, or your favorite band rocks the charts at number one, it feels good, right? Kind of like how it feels when you have auto insurance with State Farm. Because making you feel like number one is an honor your local State Farm agent takes seriously. Through the good times and not so good, your State Farm agent's proud to be here to help life go right.
State Farm Agent Kirk Wright, 1701 West Main in Independence, or call 620-331-1245.
When you have an emergency, you need a comprehensive healthcare facility that puts your mind at ease every step of the way. The emergency department at Labette Health Independence Healthcare Center offers patients fast access to vital healthcare services. Our quick response heart attack and stroke protocols ensure diagnostics begin rapidly. A state-of-the-art facility for state-of-the-art care. Labette Health Independence Healthcare Center, where we center around you.
You're listening to the IHS Bulldogs on KBIK Independence, Indy 102.9.
41-0 the score. Caney Valley with the lead over the Independence Bulldogs. And Caney Valley getting ready to kick this one off back to Independence. Bulldogs have shown glimpses of promise on the offensive side, but they kind of get bogged down by either penalties or turnovers. Kick is fielded at the 10-yard line. Up the middle with it is McGrath. McGrath finding a seam across the 50. He got brought down from behind near the 45-yard line. And Jaden McGrath with a full head of steam found that small hole. Big return there for the Bulldogs.
Great return by McGrath.
Injecting some life back into the crowd here is Independence with another opportunity. The offense trying to put some things together.
Here's a quick, interesting score, Kane. Keep in mind, Missouri started 2 weeks ago. Harrisonville, Missouri, ranked number 2. They're 2-0 right now. They are trailing Pittsburgh 27-13 late in the third quarter. Pittsburgh looking tough this year.
Shotgun set, 5 wide. Prawley with it at the face mask. He'll take off and run with it across the 40, the 30.
Apparently.
Breaks the tackle, now inside the 25.
That's a late hit.
Out of bounds. And Prawley coming up lame a little bit as he's holding the back of his leg.
There was 3 penalties on that play and 1 flag.
At the 20-yard line.
Prawley's certainly running hard there. And penalty situation going to get sorted out.
As of right now, it's a 26-yard run.
Penalty, of course, does go against Caney. So they'll mark off the additional yardage, 5 yards for the face mask, and it'll bring it to the 15-yard line, Caney Valley 15-yard line, that is, for the Bulldogs. Independence in the red zone. 1:05 left in the third quarter. Get the ball marked and set. 3 wide receivers. 4 Prawley in the shotgun. Takes a snap, hands it off to McGrath off the left-hand side. Picks up good yardage out across the 10, or out to the 10, rather. Gain of 5 on that carry.
Jake McGrath finds the crease to run through.
45 seconds and counting here in the third. It's been all Caney Valley as they are up 41-0.
Good job by McGrath there. A good 5-yard run, finding the hole, off tackle. Plays like that can get this team going.
Positive plays is what they need. Probably with the keeper after the handoff, fake handoff rather, off to the left-hand side, finds room into the end zone, touchdown. And just like that, from 10 yards out, Josh Crawley finds room, evades a few tackles, and he scores. Makes this 41-6. Caney Valley still with the lead, but Independence able to get on the scoreboard. 19 seconds left in the third.
I'd go for 2 here.
Yeah. Why not?
More of just a why not.
Shotgun set. Brawley takes the snap, drops back to throw, looks, gets swallowed up in the pocket, however, then throws it at the last second. Goes incomplete. Brawley had a clean pocket there for a moment, but sort of collapsed on him pretty quickly. Probably a little slow to get up. 41-6 still the score. 19 seconds left in the third quarter. We'll take a 30-second timeout. You're listening to Bulldog Football right here on Indy 102.9.
When you have an emergency, you need a comprehensive healthcare facility that puts your mind at ease every step of the way. The emergency department at Labette Health Independence Healthcare Center offers patients fast access to vital healthcare services. Our quick response heart attack and stroke protocols ensure diagnostics begin rapidly. A state-of-the-art facility for state-of-the-art care. Labette Health Independence Healthcare Center, where we center around you.
You're listening to the IHS Bulldogs on KBIK Independence, Indy 102.9.
41-6 the score. Caney Valley with the lead. 19 seconds left in the third quarter. Independence able to get on the board after a 10-yard touchdown run by Josh Prawley. Bulldogs set to kick this one away. Talked about it, Brett, you and I, is positive plays. Independence finally able to string together some consecutive positive plays that finally resulted in a touchdown for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, put a couple of them there together, and Josh Prawley with 2 big runs, and the second one ending with a touchdown.
Yeah, better execution. That's been the name of the game. Kick is away. Low-angled kick out across the 20, and it's going to die at about the 15-yard line, picked up at the last second by Caney, and spun around down near the 19-yard line. It looked like number 12 there, Curtis Groover. Groover was hoping that was going to go out of bounds, but it just died before it did. And he, fortunately for Caney Valley, picked that one up.
He thought,
sometimes you see that on kickoffs. I see that in college from time to time. They treat it like a punt.
So the kid last year threw it to the official.
Yeah, exactly.
The official just let it go. And was Florida that ended up scoring on that?
It might have been, yeah, I think so.
Kid just ran down. Like, hey, free ball, why not?
Yeah. That's what happens when you have those mental lapses sometimes. Caney Valley back with the football. Still in the wishbone, and somebody hollering for a timeout down there. Looks like it was Independence. Independence will be granted the timeout. We'll keep things right here for the time being. Should be a short one. As score once again, 41-6. Caney Valley with the lead over the Independence Bulldogs, and definitely not gone the way the Bulldogs have wanted it to here in this one, Brett. But like you and I have talked about, it's going to be a process for this Independence team, starting a lot of different kids from last year on both sides of the football, and they're going to have to learn how to play well together, and they're going to have to learn to execute and learn, as silly as it may sound, learn how to score a little bit here, and that's going to result from good execution by this Independence team.
It appears that He was still on the field from the kickoff.
Oh.
I don't think that's why the timeout was called.
But they got that situation.
But they got that all figured out.
It could have been bad, so fortunately somebody was able to notice that. 16 seconds left in the third. Caney Valley with the football at their own 18-yard line. Pitch out wide to the right-hand side. Ton of room out there across the 30. The 35 cuts into the 40, out near the 45-yard line before getting brought down is Grant Ritchie, finding tons of real estate out there.
It's a big run, and if there's anybody out here that didn't need a big run, it was Grant Ritchie.
Big run there by Grant Ritchie.
Now 254 yards on the ground for Ritchie.
What a 27-yarder there by him. Clock will tick away in the third quarter. Into the third, 41-6, Caney Valley with the lead. We'll take a 60-second timeout. You're listening to Bulldog Football right here on Indy 102.9.
Want to make your home a more comfortable place, but don't think you can afford a top brand heating and cooling system? Well, Carrier has the right solutions for every budget. When you turn to your Carrier expert, they'll show you our full lineup of best-in-class home comfort systems and help you pick the one that best fits into your home budget. Because in this economy, who couldn't use a little more comfort?
Lee's Cooling and Heating in Independence. Call 620-331-2310. 118 South 8th Street, Independence.
We are all faced with tough decisions when choosing a home away from home for our loved ones. Medical Lodges and Grand Villas of Independence offer a wide variety of services ranging from an assisted living community to skilled nursing or long-term care.
Whether you're seeking a place to make new friends or recover and go home, Medical Lodges and Grand Villas Independence.
Call me, Megan, at Medical Lodges, 331-8789.
Or call me, Amber, at Grand Villas, 331-2260. We serve and enhance the lives of others with caring hands.
Getting ready to start the fourth quarter here at Emmett Field between the Independence Bulldogs and the Caney Valley Bull Pups. It's 41-6 in favor of Caney Valley. The Bull Pups do have possession of the football at their own 45-yard line. Officials deciding to discuss something right now. Not sure what.
I just want to let the game go a few more minutes.
I guess. I don't know if they're discussing a running clock or what the situation is here.
Yes, 35. I don't know what I was saying there. 35 from Island.
Boston or something.
35-point game here.
Yeah, they're over there talking with Coach Boldra. Well, I can't imagine this discussion needing to take this long. Should be a pretty simple yes or no question if that's what it's boiled down to, but do you want to mention while we get an opportunity, next week Bulldogs will be on the road turning into not being able to talk either, as Bulldogs will be on the road next week at Fort Scott. It'll be a 7 o'clock game taking place over there at Prairie Field.
Last year, Fort Scott came here, a lot of weather right after the game.
Yeah.
I've got about a 35, 40-minute drive home, and I remember it took me about 2 hours to get home after the game. It was not fun.
Yeah, it was pouring in that one.
Felt bad for all those Fort Scott,
having to make
the
that
bus and the fans, and they went right into that storm.
So they get it situated. Independence going to jump off sides as man goes in motion there for Caney Valley, and that'll be a 5-yard penalty. The one thing they tell you on the defensive line especially, watch the football.
So the young ones.
Yep, that's one of those things they're going to have to learn.
It's easy to see it and just want to go.
True.
You see anybody move.
See that motion, so. Gets marked off, 1st and 5, man in motion once again, handoff up the middle. Plowing his way forward close to the first down. Going to pick up 4 on that carry. It'll bring up 2nd and 1 for the Bull Pups. 11:45 and counting in the the fourth quarter.
We got a new running back this time, Brendan Bowie.
Yeah, Bowie did have that carry on that one.
And I'm running out of room.
Certainly been a number of different running backs for Caney Valley here tonight. Back in the wishbone, handoff up the gut once again, picks up the first down. It'll move the chains.
Again, the handoff.
Bowie with the carry on back-to-back plays. 1st and 10 for Caney Valley at the Independence 42-yard line. Do have a running clock. Under 11 to go. Handoff once again, going to be a quarterback keeper. Had me fooled. Running the option, throws the pitch back near the 42-yard line. Probably should have kept that one.
You don't need to pitch it.
Yeah, probably wanted to keep that one, but benefited Independence a little bit as they were able to stop that one to the outside after a gain of 6 on the carry.
He gained 6 yards on the play. 7 yards on the play. Brings up 2nd and 3.
So 2nd and 4 coming up for Caney Valley. Wishbone, tight formation set. Handoff up the inside with it. Right through the interior of that Independence defense again. And picking up the first down. Close to an 8-yard carry on that one. Under 10 to go in the fourth quarter. It's 41-6 Caney Valley with the lead.
8-yard line.
With Independence not going to be able to get the W here in this one.
And smartly, Independence has taken two-way player Josh Prawley out of the game. He's gone almost every single play.
Prawley, one of the many players here tonight who's done just about everything they could here. Another quick snap and a handoff. Gain of 4, close to 5 on the carry there for that one. Brings up 2nd and 5.
Ellis takes the handoff. Down to the 20.
Yep, definitely not Independence's night tonight, Brett, as the Bulldogs had a bit of a shaky start defensively, allowing that touchdown on the first possession. The offense looked like they were going to try to tie things up, but turnover into that one pretty quick. And then things sort of spiraled out of control from there on, especially in that second quarter when they gave up 21 points. Handoff working the way to the right-hand side out near the 30-yard line gets stopped and brought down for Caney Valley. Yeah. Bowie not able to do much with it. Yep. Yeah. Actually, yeah, looks like Young. I guess it was Young, number 3, not number 6. Number looked pretty similar there under the light. So Jonathan Young looks like it was another running back, wasn't it? Thrown in there. That's Young's first carry of the night.
Young was sophomore.
3rd and a long 3. Back to the handoff up the middle. Gets stopped out near the 20. Just shy of the first down marker by about a yard and a half. That'll bring up 4th down for Caney Valley.
Field goal.
About a 37, 38-yarder from here.
All right.
I don't know. With as low as that kick is, that might not clear the crossbar.
I see it as a 72-yard return block field goal.
That's a good point, actually. Handoff up the middle once again. Stuck quickly, but getting close to the first down. Who was that?
Might have to bring the sticks out.
With that one. He shot the gap quickly. And they're going to actually, call for the measurement. Clock will still go as they go for the measurement. Under 7:10 left in the fourth quarter. If you're just joining us, 41-6 the score. Caney Valley with the lead. Chain gang gets out there, and it's not going to be a first down. Turnover on downs.
It's awful close.
So Independence will get the ball back. Yeah, it was.
From here, it looked like he had it, actually.
Yeah. But it goes Independence's way. Bulldogs will get the ball back at their own 18-yard line, 1st and 10. Shotgun set, 3 wide receivers, trip wideouts to the near side. Drops back to pass, throws it out over there, caught, but then taken down immediately was Aiden Charter. The blocking wasn't there on the bubble screen.
Cole Swearingen beating himself up, missed the block, and he knows it.
Charter paid for it.
Yeah. At least he held on.
Independent's officially going to lose 2 yards on that reception. Brings up 2nd and 12 from their own 16-yard line. 5:36 left in the 4th quarter. Shotgun set, Prawley to throw it, fires it outside of the reach of the intended target on that one as he was looking for Ryan Bruce, but some mustard on that throw, and it was outside of the range of Bruce.
Real quick, Kane, a Great Bend pulling away from Coffeyville in the 4th quarter. Great Bend with a 45-12 lead.
That was a little more what I probably would have figured in that game. Is Great Bend, of course, 5A school, perennially one of the better 5A schools in the state of Kansas as well. Brings up 3rd and 12 for the Bulldogs from their own 16-yard line. Handoff up the middle with it. Finding a lot of room out across the 30, the 40, out to the 50 as McGrath finding room down the sideline to the 20, the 10, and into the end zone touchdown. My, oh my, McGrath.
83 yards. And remember last year in Caney, he had that big game, had the big run right before halftime.
Big 83-yard touchdown run there by Jaden McGrath. He sort of just popped his way into the secondary, turned on some afterburners, and was able to leave the rest of the defense behind him. 41-12 the score now in favor of Caney Valley still, but good to see that Independence offense showing some life here. Bulldogs are going to go for 2. 5 wide receiver set. Prawley in the shotgun. Gets the snap, drops back, looks, fires, and thrown incomplete. Intended target unclear as there are 2 players in the area on that one. The Bulldogs not able to capitalize by getting the 2-point conversion, but still able to get the touchdown. 41-12. Caney Valley with the lead. 3:30 and counting with the running clock left in the 4th quarter. We'll take a 30-second timeout. You're listening to Bulldog Football right here on Indy 102.9.
Want to make your home a more comfortable place, but don't think you can afford a top brand heating and cooling system? Well, Carrier has the right solutions for every budget. When you turn to your Carrier expert, they'll show you our full lineup of best-in-class home comfort systems and help you pick the one that best fits into your home budget. Because in this economy, who couldn't use a little more comfort?
Lee's Cooling and Heating in Independence. Call 620-331-2310. 118 South A Street, Independence. You're listening to the IHS Bulldogs on KBIK Independence. Indy 102.9.
Back here at Emmett Field, Independence, Kansas, 41-12 the score. Caney Valley with the lead over the Independence Bulldogs. 2:35 and counting in the 4th quarter. We've got a running clock. Independence putting some more points up on the board after the 83-yard touchdown run by Jaden McGrath. 2-point conversion was no good, and Independence setting up to kick this one off.
Take it deep or onside?
Yeah, they could really just play this either way. I mean, Independence does go with a little bit of an onside kick. It's fielded rather cleanly at the 40-yard line, then brought down at the 42 for Caney Valley. As turning that one was Trey Ritchie. So it'll stick, or rather be, Caney Valley's football. 1:45 and counting in the 4th. Independence going to take the loss here in this one. Tough loss to say the least. Do want to mention, of course, again, next week Independence will be on the road playing against Fort Scott. It'll actually start a 3-game road trip for Independence. It'll include at Fort Scott, at Parsons, and at Baser-Linwood.
What is this, pro baseball?
I know. Have a away series coming up here pretty quick before we essentially start another one.
Are you just going to take penalties or what?
They're going to call timeout, I guess, as they let the clock run down as much as they could with the play clock, and Caney Valley going to call a timeout with 1:10 left in the fourth quarter. We'll keep things right here. As I mentioned, Brett, Independence not going to be able to get the victory here tonight in this one, but more than anything, it was going to be important for Independence to put together a better second half of football. I think overall they have. They still had their struggles, to say the least, in the second half, but we saw a more consistent play, especially from the offensive side of things, and I think that was going to be pretty crucial for Independence trying to head into next week.
Obviously, you saw a couple of big plays out of the offense. Josh Crawley from the quarterback position, a couple of good scrambles and got a touchdown, and obviously that last big run there by Jaden McGrath.
It's going to be the name of the game for Independence, is just keep getting better, and this Independence team got better as the game progressively went on for them, which is exactly what they needed to do. Coming out of that timeout here, it's still Caney football. And Caney just going to take some knees here to try to end this one, as they're happy with the score the way it is as we dip under a minute to go. To mention once again, just in case you're joining us, it's 41-0 in favor of Caney Valley, or excuse me, 41-12 in favor of Caney Valley, as Independence able to tack on some points late in this ball game, but not enough to make a difference here in this one. So unfortunate for the Bulldogs, this one fell the way that it did, but a very young Independence team. We knew that coming into this one. It was a team that had a lot of different players at positions pretty much across the board, offensively and defensively, and it was going to be a learning process for this Independence team, and will probably continue to be a learning process for this Independence team as the season progresses. But as long as they keep getting better, that's going to be the main thing for the Bulldogs. Final score, 41-12. Caney Valley, they pull off the win here tonight against the Independence Bulldogs. We're going to send it back to the studio for 3 minutes, and then when we come back, we will have our Labette Health post-game show. You're listening to Bulldog Football right here on Indy 102.9.
What makes a good pharmacy? At the Medicine Shop Pharmacy, it's a genuine interest in you and your personal health care needs. They help with all your health questions and concerns and offer health screenings that help monitor your health, sponsor health events that keep you informed of the most important advancements. And of course, a good pharmacy also provides a full range of the products you need for good health, from the national brands to trusted Medicine Shop brands. So what makes a good pharmacy? It's the Medicine Shop Promise. Pride in knowing medicine and also you in order to meet your individual health needs accurately and completely. 400 North Penn in Independence.
Yep, you're gonna look good in this house. Are we ready to make an offer?
Well, we really love this house.
Yes, we really love this house, but $120,000 is as high as we can go on this house.
You're kidding me, right? I see what kind of car you're driving. You got lots of money. You can do better than that. Sheesh!
Tired of being hounded? Then visit us at Midwest Real Estate. Your home, our commitment. Online at MidwestKS.com.
Brian Klein again with Quality Toyota and Quality Motors. We hope you're enjoying the game. You know, I've been here for 8 years now, and I have never had this many pre-owned Tacomas. You know the legendary dependability and reliability of the Tacoma? And now is your chance to save thousands off new prices. All of these are local trades. You can call or stop by either side of the street, and we'll show you why your neighbor trades with Quality Automotive Group. Hey, go Bulldogs, get that win.
Many Many things change over time, and auto repair is one of those things. While today's high-tech cars may not require the same continuous service as the older ones do, they will nonetheless at one time or another need to be serviced. When they do, they require high-tech equipment and highly trained certified technicians. You can find all those, along with the most advanced computer diagnostic equipment available, at the Car Shop.
3201 West Main in Independence. That's 3201 West Main in Independence.
Are you looking for a new option for your checking account? Look no further than Community National Bank and Trust. Our brand new Guardian Secure checking account helps protect you from identity theft, offers cell phone protection, shopping rewards, travel discounts, and can pay you CD-like rates if you qualify, all with your checking account. If your account isn't paying you, call or stop by Community National Bank and Trust today. Member FDIC.
When you have an emergency, you need a comprehensive healthcare facility that puts your mind at ease every step of the way. The emergency department at Labette Health Independence Healthcare Center offers patients fast access to vital healthcare services. Our quick response heart attack and stroke protocols ensure diagnostics begin rapidly. A state-of-the-art facility for state-of-the-art care. Labette Health Independence Healthcare Center, where we center around you.
Back here at Emmett Field, Independence, Kansas. Final score here in this one, 41-12. Caney Valley with the win over the Independence Bulldogs. This is our Labette Health post-game show. I'm Kane Carpenter, along with me, Brett Shields. And Brett, obviously not the way Independence wanted this one to go here tonight, but the Independence team still trying to figure some things out. Got a feeling that's going to be a process that's going to kind of go maybe over the short term, hopefully not over the long term of this season, but an Independence team that got better as this game progressed, and that's really about all you could ask for them coming out in the second half.
Yeah, especially the fourth quarter. Independence won the fourth quarter 12-0.
And we talk about that. I know it's minor moral victories, but still, when you got a young team like this, you kind of have to rely on some of those sometimes.
I was always told the fourth quarter is what really matters when I played.
Yeah, you might be taking that out of context a little, but I understand what you're saying. But
coaches are always like, hey, fourth quarter is all that matters. They'd run us in practice. They'd say fourth quarter is all that matters.
Yeah.
So 1-0, man.
It's a good way to put it. It's a good way to put it, no matter how you look at it. But it's definitely going to be a process for this Independence team, the way they get some of this stuff going here a little bit. But
I shouldn't have stood up.
The way it goes, yeah, it kind of feels pretty good to stand up a little bit, though, after that, sitting up here a little bit. Had a beautiful night for football.
Oh, man.
Couldn't really ask for much better.
I don't want to be that guy that's like,
it was a little warm
about the weather.
It was a little warm in the box. It was a great night.
I wouldn't complain.
No, we've had a lot worse.
We've sat up here for the home opener, and it's been 110 degrees, it feels like.
Yeah, that's true. So couldn't ask for much more than that. But, yeah, Independence going to have an opportunity next week on the road at Fort Scott. Not going to be an easy one by any stretch of the imagination. Fort Scott was picked to win the SEK, and they're kind of tried to prove that point a little bit here tonight. I know we didn't get another score update necessarily on that one, but they were taking it to Parsons. Yeah, I'm sure it wasn't good necessarily, but
I think it was 69-7.
Yeah, it was them taking it to the Vikings, that's for sure. But it'll be the next opponent for Independence on the road is they'll have three road games rather coming up.
56-7, sorry.
To continue things is now here tonight in this one. The story of it was just Independence is not able to execute when they needed to on the offensive side of things, and the defense for Independence really not able to stop that ground attack for Caney Valley. And give all the credit in the world to Caney. They were able to really run the ball at will against this Independence team.
Yeah, and that's something that Independence has to figure out a way to correct. Whether it's, you know what, make somebody throw the ball against us, because I can tell you right now, Fort Scott's going to get the tape of this game.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to say, all right, receivers, you guys take the night off. There's no need to pass. And Independence is going to have to come out and prove that that's not the case. We understood what we did wrong, what we can do better. We had 3 or 4 days of practices next week. Figure it out. I figure you need 3 days and full pads, and you get that Thursday. You don't go 100%. You want to be healthy Friday. But, yeah, you come out, make that bus trip up to Fort Scott, and you got to just battle in the trenches, man.
Yeah, and I think that's another good point you bring up when you talk about battling in the trenches. That's really where, not to be too cliche about it, but where games are won and lost. And Independence at times showed ability to be able to win the battle down there along the line of scrimmage, but not consistently enough over the course of this game to be a significant factor in it. Again, they showed times where they were able to win it down there along the line of scrimmage, but not overall as much as they needed to. And that speaks to the process of them being able to figure that out, being able to get better, to be able to help out in the running game and help out when Independence wants to throw the football, because that was another point of contention, I think, for this Independence team. They didn't do enough to block, especially when Independence wanted to throw the ball. And that kind of limits what you do, and that's why Independence had to throw a ton of screens.
Yeah, and even last year, Independence, they loved that quick bubble screen.
Yeah, they do.
But yeah,
but sometimes you got to stretch it a little bit.
Yeah, and tonight, even when they got down in the red zone, they tried to do like just a hard pump fake and go to the end zone. And Zadrick Daniels was the intended receiver, and two defenders right there with him. And I agree with probably making that throw. Yeah, if it was fourth down, if you throw an interception, oh well. But, yeah, just you got to give your quarterback time to set his feet and throw. And there wasn't many non-screens where Josh Prawley wasn't throwing off his back foot.
Well, you talk about having a clean pocket. Didn't even get remotely close to that.
Just worried about getting a pocket.
Yeah, getting a pocket is what Independence needed to do. That's kind of what it boiled down to, that's for sure. Right now, we're going to take a 30-second timeout. When we come back, we will have more of our Labette Health postgame show. You're listening to Bulldog Football right here on Indy 102.9.
When you have an emergency, you need a comprehensive healthcare facility that puts your mind at ease every step of the way. The emergency department at Labette Health Independence Healthcare Center offers patients fast access to vital healthcare services. Our quick response heart attack and stroke protocols ensure diagnostics begin rapidly. A state-of-the-art facility for state-of-the-art care. Labette Health Independence Healthcare Center, where we center around you.
You're listening to the IHS Bulldogs on KBIK Independence, Indy 102.9.
Back here at Emmett Field, Independence, Kansas. This is our Labette Health postgame show. We have Coach Bolger up here to talk with us for a moment. Coach, obviously not the way you wanted this game to go here tonight, but Anu going to have to replace a lot of kids from last year going into this year at a lot of key positions, and really just almost every position offensively and defensively, and kind of saw as a result of that a lot of new faces out there. The execution really wasn't where it needed to be.
Yeah, we placed 9 on one side and 10 on the other side, and they practiced better than they played tonight. I will say that, but there's a lot of growing pains when there's turn the lights on a Friday night and you have an opponent instead of going against somebody you're better than at practice. And that's kind of why we had some bright spots and we had some low spots. Unfortunately, there was more low spots than bright spots. So we'll learn from it. We'll move on and get ready for the next one.
That's something Brett and I talked about. It's going to be a process for a lot of these kids about playing those positions. And as you talk about playing against an opponent rather than what you just do in practice over the course of it. And they had the bright spots, especially on the offensive side. You saw some good things from the offensive line, opening holes, running backs finding them, and then kind of hit those negative plays a little bit, which stopped those offensive drives in their place. And it's just going to kind of come down to eliminating those negative plays to keep those positive plays going and that momentum.
Yeah, we know you can't shoot yourself in the foot. You can't turn it over. You can't fumble it. You can't jump. You can't have the little things that we did this evening and beat a good team. And I don't know if they're good at their level, but they were pretty dang good tonight. They came off the football and they hit us right in the mouth and they drove it right down the field. And you got to take your hat off to them. And we're going to get the next one.
And you talk about the next one. It's going to start a 3-game road trip next week on the road at Fort Scott. And always a difficult place to play and also always a difficult team to play against. And we saw improvement, I thought, at least in my opinion, from this Independence team from the beginning of the game to the end of the game as they started to fall into a little bit of a groove on the offensive side and even on the defensive side. And it's just also going to be about keeping them up mentally going into it and letting them know, I imagine, hey, got a new game to play. let's learn from what we did wrong in this game here tonight, but we got another opponent on the road now going into Fort Scott. We got to go out there and execute. That's really what the name of the game is going to be for this Independence team.
Yeah, and as you say that, you think about it, we go on the road, we go play, the team that's supposed to win the league. So no one expects you to win. So go out there and leave it all out there, and if good things happen for you, they do, and if they don't, then...
Sometimes it's fun to play against a team that's got a target on their back.
That's right, and it's... some of these kids, and our seniors have come a long way in the leadership role, and they're doing a good job, and but you just can't ask them to do everything. There's only 6 of them, and only 3 of them played last year. So let's just be honest about that. So, then we got some other kids that are going to have to step up, and they're getting there. It's just it takes time, and until you play on a Friday night under the lights against somebody else, you're just not ready for it. And I think tonight they'll grow up, and we'll get better. We'll study the film as coaches. We got a big job to do as coaches now to make some decisions and figure out where we're going to put people and who's here and who's there. And we wanted to be very honest, we went into this season wanting to platoon up front. And unfortunately, we had some sickness, and we've had this and that, and we just couldn't do it because when they're not at practice, you got to have repetition, and we're just not doing it. And we went through 4 different offensive lines in the last 4 days. So it's just hard to do when kids aren't there. And there's a lot of sickness going around, and we just got to figure out what we're doing and go from there. So we'll improve before next week, and then we'll go out there and try to get one.
It's going to be a process. We know it's early in the season, and wish you good luck next week at Fort Scott.
Hey,
thanks for taking time to talk with us.
God bless.
Tough game again tonight for the Bulldogs. But again, as we talked about, it's a young Independence team, a lot of new faces on the offensive and the defensive side of things. So it's going to be them trying to figure some things out. And Brett, some of the things Coach Bolger talked about, that, it's one thing that you got your kids going in practice, playing against kids they know. Of course, same guys in your team. It's another thing, getting to the Friday night lights, getting out there and trying to replicate what you did in practice. And he said they practiced a lot better than they played here tonight. Give credit to Caney, but they just didn't do what they needed to do.
You ever have a thought, you don't want to say it? I hope they practice better than this.
Yeah.
This was not a good showing. And that's not, it sounds harsh, it's not. Just tough night. No other way to put it. And hopefully, they go back and have a even better week of practice. Excuse me. And, next week, probably a tougher opponent.
Yeah, that's another thing that he brought up as well, is you're going to get an opportunity to play against a team that has a target on their back. Go out, play loose, play unrestricted, as you got nothing to lose, essentially. Fort Scott's got everything to lose. They were picked to win the SEK. Sometimes it is more fun to play against a team that has the target on their back rather than be the team that has the target on your back. And Independence going to have an opportunity to put some work into practice to try to go out next week on the road against Fort Scott, try to put a scare into those Tigers.
Fort Scott was picked last year to win, too.
Yeah, exactly. So you just never know how that's going to fall.
How'd they go, Fort Scott? What's up?
Independence got an opportunity to play spoiler
you want to see our
results a little bit on that. Independence has that opportunity presented for them, but I hate to say that word again, it's going to be a process, and we kind of knew that going into
this. It's a young team. It's a team that, outside from a few receivers and the quarterback position, it's a team that's probably going to be sticking together for the next 2 or 3 years.
Yeah,
there's a lot
they're going to have to learn to play well together. That's what it's going to come down to. Something else Coach Bolger mentioned, you can get your leadership from your seniors, and that's great, but other kids are going to have to step up and lead as well, because it can't all rest on the shoulders of the seniors, and that's absolutely right. We're going to have to see more of that coming into it next week. It's going to start wrapping things up, I guess, here on our end. Do want to mention again, it was 41-12, the final score in favor of Caney Valley here in this one. Next week we'll be on the road at Fort Scott. Joe?
Keep in mind, next Thursday, if you're at home, next Thursday night, the Chiefs and Patriots will be in the NFL season opener.
God, is that coming up this Thursday?
That's Thursday.
Damn, that's
set your fantasy lineups.
Yeah, I got to remember to do that. It's hard to believe.
If you don't catch the game, you can just listen to me talk for the first 3 minutes of the game next week. And
man, I hope that goes well.
Listen to my attitude.
Yeah, I don't want.
And you'll be able to tell who won that game.
I do not want you to be in a bad mood. That's all I can say. Because that'd be a good game, though, one way or the other.
As a Chiefs fan, New England's winning that game. Chiefs will win 12 throughout the year.
I think that's what's to be expected, but you never know.
12-4.
You never know.
12-4.
Never know. Do you want to mention tomorrow? Pirates play on the road at Fort Scott. Same place we're going next week. Catch them right here on 10:10 a.m. As they'll be broadcasting that game.
Pretty good play-by-play guy here.
Yeah, I've heard him a little bit. Jeff Carpenter be doing that one for the Pirates.
He's all right.
On that one, so be sure to listen to them. And, of course, like I mentioned, we'll be back on the air next Friday on the road at Fort Scott, 7 o'clock kickoff time.
Don't forget,
on that one.
If you're not near a radio or if you are up in Fort Scott or something and you want to listen,
Internet broadcast, the Indy 102.9 Facebook page, on the YouTube page as well.
I was going to say that, but
that's okay.
You interrupted with Internet.
You want to throw that out there? That's fine. What was the YouTube page? Do you remember?
Search Indy 102.9 on YouTube.
I guess it's one way to do it. What was the Facebook page?
Google it.
What was the Facebook page? Was it just Indy 102.9?
It was just a link to the
on that one, which shouldn't be too hard to find.
Yeah, just click on it and pull us up. And sorry if your ears bleed. Kane's learning.
I know. We won't. I'll try not to scream so much. I mean, that's kind of where that gets at a little bit.
Kane's getting there.
I'll be there. I'll be there at some point. But once again, 41-12 the final in this one. Caney Valley with the win over the Independence Bulldogs in this game. Do want to say thank you to all of our sponsors, of course. Without them, none of this would be possible, so please thank them as well. Brett, anything else left to add before we sign off here tonight and head on the road next week at Fort Scott?
Nope. We're just got college football tomorrow. Season starting. Good luck to the Pirates. Good luck to the
Pirates tomorrow.
Wildcats up in Manhattan, taking on Central Arkansas.
Them as well.
KU plays somebody.
Don't want to throw that out there by any stretch of the imagination, do you?
It should be their win this year.
That should be. Well, they play Texas again, so.
True.
I got that one before you did. So we'll wrap things up here on our end. Hope you join us next Friday night. Going to wrap things up here on our Labette Health postgame show as well. You've been listening to Bulldog Football right here on Indy 102.9.
You've been listening to